following program is a presentation of Comcast's SJTV. San Joaquin Television. SJTV.
Welcome from Alex G. Spanos Stadium on the Lincoln High School campus for the second round of the CIF San Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Football Playoffs presented by Farmers Insurance as the 10-1 Lincoln Trojans take on the 9-2 St. Mary's Rams for the second time this season and the fourth time in 14 months. Hello everyone, I'm Eric Alves. The winner of this game advances to next week's section semifinal, making it the 8th time in 9 years either St. Mary's or Lincoln has been in that game. The Rams and Trojans have been the two best teams in the southern half of Division I for this decade. And tonight we're going to see the top two players in the area, and Michael Spanos from Lincoln and Cody Vaz from St. Mary's. Vaz has had a magnificent career at St. Mary's, throwing 57 touchdowns against just 17 interceptions. Last week in the first round of the playoffs against Los Banos, he threw for over 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He completed his final 9 passes of the game. In the first matchup with Lincoln, he struggled a bit, only completing 7 passes, his lowest total of the year, and he didn't throw a touchdown for just the third time in the last 2 seasons. Michael Spanos of Lincoln had a struggle the first time against St. Mary's. He only rushed 58 yards, his second lowest total of the season, but he did have 2 touchdowns, and this season has been now 10 out of 11 games where he's at least had 2 touchdowns for the Trojans. He's also had 6 games this year where he's rushed for 100 yards. St. Mary's has won 4 straight and 6 out of 7, but the last 2 games have been decided by a combined total of 9 points. It's the Rams and Trojans next in the second round of the CIF San Joaquin Section Playoffs here on Comcast SJTV Sports. St. Mary's and Lincoln here in round 2 of the playoffs, a game that most of us saw coming about 2 months ago, and it is finally here for the right to move on to the section semifinals. Lincoln has made the playoffs 9 years in a row. They are 15-7 in the postseason during that time, including 13-4 here at Alex G. Spanos Stadium, winning a section title in 2000, while St. Mary's has been to the playoffs 7 years in a row and are 12-5 during that time. They're 5-4 on the road in the postseason. They did win a road game here at Lincoln in the playoffs back in 2003 when they beat Lincoln 30-13 after the teams played during the regular season, and Lincoln won that game. St. Mary's won in the postseason. St. Mary's trying to go for the sweep here in 08 after they swept Lincoln last year, beating the Trojans, of course, in the semifinals a season ago. This is now the third time in the last 6 years, 03, 07, and 08, where Lincoln and St. Mary's have met in the postseason. If you will, you can call this one the City Championship. The winner of this game plays the winner of Johansson and Merced in the semifinal, and then the week after it'll be the D1 final on a Saturday, December the 13th at the University of the Pacific. St. Mary's, of course, won a Division I section title back in 2004. They have one, Lincoln has one. That's it for teams from the city of Stockton. The Trojans to kick off, Rob Post, as Lincoln's in the red. Post 11 touchbacks on the season. Chad West is the deep man for St. Mary's in the white tops, and they went the black pants, and the return comes from the 1 by West. Up the middle, and he's drilled by Sterling Thomas as he gets right across the 20 to the 21, and St. Mary's will come out on offense. We told you about their quarterback, Cody Vaz. He has 4 receivers at his disposal and a very good tailback in Maurice Howes. The receivers for St. Mary's, that's their defense. The receivers are Josh Harper, Louis Lekic, Alex Michaels, and Chaz Smith, and we'll get you the offensive line after this play as it's 1st and 10, St. Mary's from the 21. Not an empty seat in the house here at Alex G. Spanos Stadium. It's Howes on the move across the 25 to the 26 where he's tackled by Josh Torres. A good 5 yards, maybe close to 6 there by Howes. Let's give you that offensive line for St. Mary's. The left tackle is Evan Fletcher. The left guard, Nick Alonzo. The center is Jordan Carl. The right guard is Hayden Schatz. And the right tackle, Josh Banks. We'll also see Gage Miller in there as well offensively. 2nd down and 5. Empty backfield as Howes goes to the slot. 3 receivers to the left. That's the way Vaz looks. Now over the middle to Michaels. And that's a 1st down up to the 42 before he's tackled by Forrest Connor. 15 yards there on the hookup. Now Michaels, only 1 game this year has he not had a reception. It was the first time against Lincoln, so he takes care of that. Let's give you the Lincoln defense up front. Hector Balderrama, he is the nose guard. The tackles are Gavin Washington and Joey Lagarbo. We'll also see Aurora and Garibay there. The ends are McMiller and Sterling Thomas. We'll give you the linebackers after this 1st down play from St. Mary's. Fake to Harper and a run by Howes. A couple of nice runs for him here at the start. Sterling Thomas, another tackle. Just past the 47, about 5.5 there for Howes. 2nd and 5 upcoming. The linebackers for Lincoln, and they're good ones. Josh Torres, as you see the D-line again, Balderrama, Lagarbo, Washington, Thomas, and McMiller. There's the linebackers, Torres, Cat, and Rule. 2nd and 5. It's Howes again. Tripped up a little bit as he tries to get through the line. Phillip Rule in on that play, and it's going to be 2 yards shy of the 1st down. 3rd and 2. The rest of the defense for Lincoln, Alfred Gross and Jamal Campbell, who have played well all season long at the corner positions, and Joe Dowd, the returning safety from a season ago. 3rd and 2 for St. Mary's, opening possession of the game. Cody Vaz has now completed 10 straight passes dating back to last week's game against Los Banos. Lincoln hammered Davis of Modesto in the 1st round of the playoffs last week here at home, while St. Mary's beat the aforementioned Los Banos. It's a run with Howes, and he's hitting the backfield. Still on his feet, though. Howes has the 1st down. Nice individual effort there by Maurice Howes. On to Lincoln's side of the field, up to the 38. A 15-yard run when it looked like he was going to be hit for a loss. So Howes, 4 carries here in the early going for 28 yards. That puts him just shy of 1,000 for the season. 7 games this year, he's had 70 or more yards. The first time against Lincoln, he had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. A screen pass for a touchdown was huge in that contest. Lincoln had just tied it up in the 2nd half, and Howes took it 49 yards. Vaz is hit and goes down. McMiller got him high, and it was Lagarbo low. Lagarbo had 2 sacks in the first matchup between these teams. McMiller had 1. The loss is back to the 44, a loss of 6. Now, Vaz was sacked 4 times by Lincoln in the first matchup. Back on October the 3rd, as I mentioned, Lagarbo had 2, McMiller 1, and Sterling Thomas 1. Jim Rubiales, the head coach for Lincoln, said that's the key to the game, putting pressure on Vaz, who was only sacked once last week against Los Banos. That pass is deflected. Forrest Connor, who's in there at the start. Almost got a piece of that. Clock at 9:17. Third and 16. Vaz looking down the field to Lekic, and he overshoots him. Lekic had curled off his pattern. Jamal Campbell was there, and that goes incomplete. And so it'll be 4th down. And you see as Campbell fell down, Lekic had already stopped his route, cut it off there. If he had been able to keep going, might have had a chance for a big play, but of course Vaz wouldn't have known when he released it. But the route was going to be curled off there by Lekic. So Alex Michaels to punt for St. Mary's. Line of scrimmage about the 43.5 of Lincoln. Spanos back there. He has returned 3 punts this year. And Alfred Gross, short punt. And it'll be down near the 25. So Lincoln will have it for the first time. And the Trojans come out on offense. Their quarterback, a 3-year varsity starter in Rob Post. We already told you about Michael Spanos, the halfback. David Hazelton, the outstanding fullback. Josh Corbett didn't play the first time against St. Mary's, was injured. Brandon Cooks coming off a 3-touchdown game last week. Josh Grudel's the tight end. The O-line, Chittafong, Tamavangsa, Enos, Byerly, and Hahn. Now, Post, of course, did not start the first matchup between these teams. Came in with about 5 minutes to go in the first half and played very well. It's Spanos on first down, breaking a couple tackles. Here goes Michael Spanos. He gets to the outside. Spanos at midfield, the 40. Spanos down to the 30-yard line before he's forced out of bounds. That's a 45-yard run by Michael Spanos. That's almost the amount he had in the first matchup with St. Mary's when he just had 58 yards, his second lowest total of the year. Once he gets to the outside, you see he switches the ball hand right there. And then Capravisa, the strong safety, giving chase. But Spanos, a 45-yard run as you see it from up top on the opening play from scrimmage for Lincoln. And the Trojans now have it at St. Mary's 30, 1st and 10. It's Hazelton, the fullback. And John Saris brings him down. About a 5-yard pickup there for Hazelton. I want to apologize to John, called him by his father's name, Rich, last week. Let's give you the defense for St. Mary's up front. Good D lineman. Malou Penatani playing in just his 5th game. He was at St. Francis as a sophomore and a junior on the varsity level. Josh Banks, the outstanding defensive tackle. The ends for St. Mary's, Carlo Cadonio and Shannon Clark. We go to the linebackers. It's John Sanguinetti, who's wearing a cast with a broken hand. John Saris in the middle. And then also Travis White steps in for Sean McGowan, who broke his hand and is out. We'll give you the secondary after this play as it's 2nd down and 5 at about the 25. Post looking to the end zone. Little tall for David Carmen. Scott Capravisa came over to give help over the top from the strong safety position. So let's give you the secondary for St. Mary's. The corners are Andy Hurst and Austin Joshua. They are very good as well. The corners on both teams very good. Joshua, he broke his hand in practice. He's also wearing a cast. One of 3 St. Mary's defenders who will wear a cast. You have to have a 1/2 inch of padding above the cast to make it legal. Josh Harper's the free safety. Scott Capravisa, we've already mentioned him a couple times. He is the strong safety. His brother Nick, of course, is standout, graduating last year from St. Mary's. 3rd and 5 after the incompletion. And Lincoln going to take a timeout. Their first. Here with 7:52 showing in the opening quarter. We'll go ahead and give you the schedules for each team and show you how they've gotten to this point. First for Lincoln, the Trojans are 10-1. That's why they're able to host this game. They only have 1 loss, even though St. Mary's beat them. St. Mary's has 2. Losing to Central Catholic and Bellarmine. And you see the loss there, 28-22. Since then, Lincoln has won 7 in a row since that St. Mary's loss, rolling through the SJAA by an average of 47-13. And, of course, handling Davis of the MMC last week, 56-12. You look at St. Mary's, they've won 6 in a row. Their losses early to Bellarmine, who's a team in the state bowl mix, as is Central Catholic as well. St. Mary's, for that matter, right now, number 3 according to Cal High Sports in the Division II bowl rankings. Maybe a chance to play for a state bowl. Would at least have to win the section, of course, and then maybe hope for some good wishes from the section commissioners. Last week, handling Los Banos in a game we did, 56-12. St. Mary's has won 6 in a row. Lincoln 7. 3rd and 5 after the timeout. Post rolling to the right. Now throwing to the end zone. Has it open receiver. Touchdown, it's Corbett. 25 yards. And 2 guys who didn't start the first matchup, Post and then Corbett, who didn't even play in the first matchup, hook up. They're a factor here in matchup number 2. 25 yards, the touchdown to Josh Corbett. That was on 3rd and 5. Corbett had gotten well beyond the defense, and the Trojan fans love that. Corbett was battling a hamstring injury from track early in the season, missed 4 games, one of which was that St. Mary's matchup. Post, of course, didn't start that first game against St. Mary's. Brandon Gildee did.
Encroachment, defense, half the distance, still on time down.
So the first flag of the game, that's our referee, Dwayne Hebner. And is Lincoln thinking about going for 2 now? Now, of course, Rob Post, their quarterback, kicks their point afters, but it looks like they've changed personnel, and Lincoln's going to go for 2. Leading 6-0, 7:47 to play here in the opening quarter. Corbett goes over to the left, and is a full house backfield. Hazelton up the middle. No, not even close. Now the second effort. Got it. Wow. It looked like that play was done. He was 2 yards shy, then fought, much like Maurice Howes did, got to the left, and that ends up being a huge play because it's 8-0. A 4-play drive for Lincoln. They go 75 yards in 1:15. There's the touchdown to Corbett. From up top, you see he had a good 4 or 5 yards, but of course the big play was the opening play of the drive for Lincoln, the 45-yard run by Michael Spanos. Spanos, who's been dynamite this year with 26 touchdowns, now approaching 1,200 yards on the year. As Jim Rubiales has said at one time or another this season, he's been our go-to guy, and then you get Corbett back in the mix as well. And now he and Brandon Cooks at receiver. That makes quite a difference in the passing game. And for Rob Post, that's his 15th touchdown pass of the season against just 4 interceptions. Now remember, Post has missed basically the equivalent of 3 full games, a couple of those to suspension. And then Gildee started and Post relieved on 2 occasions. And for Corbett, that's his 5th receiving touchdown this season. Last year he had 3. But one of the best around, certainly when healthy, is the senior. Post to kick off. Sent the last one to the 1. 8-0 Lincoln. Be interesting to see how that 2-point conversion made by Hazelton looms in this game. From the 1 again, West returning for St. Mary's. Thomas in on the special teams play, as is Nick Gonzalez. So St. Mary's, they had gotten into Lincoln territory on their opening possession, but stalled at about the 44. They start now at the 29. 7:40 to go in the opening half. St. Mary's, I mentioned 6 wins in a row. They've won 21 of their last 24, and 2 of those losses were by 2 points. Central Catholic this year, Napa last year in the D1 final. Vaz goes under center. It's Howes, and he's hitting the backfield, but then fights forward maybe for a yard. That's Jesse Aurora. He'll end up with a yard there, 2nd and 9. So Lincoln defensively doing a nice job right there. Howes, 5th carry for 29 yards, and St. Mary's keeping it on the ground, as Howes already has 5 carries. Vaz is thrown twice, trying to throw for a 3rd time here. It is complete, and Lekic will have the first down up near the 42. We'll call it a 12-yard hookup. Lekic coming off a huge game last week against Los Banos when he had 7 receptions, a season high, 132 yards, and also a touchdown. He's really come on and been a nice compliment to Josh Harper and the receiving corps for St. Mary's. 1st and 10 as the Rams are spotted at the 41 at their own. Harper takes it on the run after he went in motion. Gets near the 45. Lincoln does a pretty nice job there defensively. Dowd, the safety, giving support. We'll say 4 yards there, 2nd and 6 upcoming. Now Harper had 2 interceptions the first time these teams played, including one to end the game and another in the end zone. But from an offensive standpoint, only had 1 reception for 6 yards and rushed 3 times for 33. 2nd and 6 with the ball at the 45. Clock under 6.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. 8-0 Lincoln. They scored on their opening possession and got the 2-point conversion. Screen set up to Howes. That's the play he scored a touchdown on the first time. Howes making a move. Tackler's missing. Maurice Howes inside the 35 to the 34 of Lincoln. A 21-yard pass play, the identical screen play that he scored the touchdown on against Lincoln, and very similarly, he made tacklers miss. Nice job there by Howes, a lot of that individual effort. Vaz now 3 of 4 for 48 yards. His completion percentage on the year, nearly 65%. That's what it was at last year as a junior. Very accurate. Under 6 minutes to go in the first. It's Howes again. He has some room. Kind of stumbled a bit, makes a move though, and will be close to a first down. Just shy, it looks like. Sterling Thomas, the team's leading tackler, in on that play. 9 though for Howes. 2nd and 1, as the offense has almost been on Maurice Howes for St. Mary's here in the early going. Now Ray Guyton started the first time against Lincoln, was injured. Very next play, Howes came in, and that was when he had the screen pass for a touchdown. The first time, Guyton was the offense much of the first half for St. Mary's. St. Mary's led 13-6 at intermission the first meeting this year. I asked Coach Franks to remember that first matchup this year. He said, well, which one? We've played him 4 times now in the last 14 months. Pretty remarkable for these two rivals. First down play is a handoff to Guyton, or the second down play creates a first down to Guyton as he gets about 3. So Ray Guyton, nearly 500 yards on the ground. Maurice Howes, right at 1,000 now. 1,500 between the two. Last year, St. Mary's had the 1-2 combination of Brandon Warren and Chris Wilson. 1st and 10 for St. Mary's. From the 23 of Lincoln, trailing 8-0. Number 8, Harper in motion. Fake to him. Vaz is hit. Is that a live ball? It was Rule who hit Vaz. I don't hear a whistle. That may be Lincoln's ball. Vaz is going to say his arm was going forward. It was Rule who applied the hit and Dowd who recovered it. It looks like the officials are going to say that's a fumble. They are. Let's watch it again. And it's always so hard to tell if the arm was going forward. The hit by Rule was ruthless, and then Dowd kept playing. There wasn't a whistle. Watch again. I don't think it was going forward. I think they were right. It was so close. And you see a lot of the players kind of stopped, but Dowd picked it up, and he got it. St. Mary's did not turn it over the first time these teams met. Lincoln did 3 times, but there are no points off the turnover. 2nd sack of Vaz already. That was the junior Philip Rule. Here goes Lincoln with Michael Spanos. Spanos, a nice run on first down as he gets up to the 35. It'll be 2nd and a long 2. That was the play again. I don't know. On those, sometimes it's so hard to call if the arm was going forward. It almost was the violence of the hit was almost what made the ball go forward. I mean, there's no question the ball went forward. It was a matter of, was Vaz throwing it or was it because he was hit? I'd say off the replays, probably because of the hit, but that's up for debate, no question, as those kind of plays always are. Spanos again, first down. Look at him move around, so elusive. Shannon Clark holds him up, and then John Saris gives some help. But a pickup of 10 as Spanos has come out on fire here on a cold night. 3rd carry already for Michael Spanos. And 6 offensive plays for Lincoln. For 63 yards, he'll get a breather. His cousin Philip Rule will come in for him. First and 10 for the Trojans at the 45. It is Philip Rule. Short gain there, maybe just a yard. Josh Banks and also John Saris combined. We'll say a yard there. Rule had a huge run early in the regular season matchup between these two when he went for 62 yards that led to Lincoln's first touchdown. Lincoln, in fact, scored first the first time. Rule had 4 carries for 74 yards in that game. He's been very good in short yardage situations for the Trojans and has scored a couple of touchdowns. One of the rare two-way players for the Trojans. Alfred Gross, you could argue, is the other one, but for the most part, guys play on one side of the ball. 2nd and 9. Post has time. Looking to Spanos, almost a fine catch. John Saris there in coverage. Heat seeker out of the arm of Post as it falls incomplete. Post, as I mentioned, his third year as a varsity quarterback. Good career numbers, now 43 touchdowns and just 15 picks. As a starter, he's 24-8. He didn't start the first matchup this year with St. Mary's, but is 0-4 against the Rams, with 2 touchdowns and 4 picks. No doubt would love to go out with the win here as a senior. 3rd and 9. Out to Cooks. Would have been well short, even if he'd been able to hold on. Copper Visa right there in coverage. Back-to-back incompletions. And it'll bring up a 4th down. So Lincoln was on the move. And the back-to-back incompletions bring up a 4th and 9 and a punting situation. So St. Mary's set to get it back. There is the ever-dangerous Josh Harper has returned 2 punts for touchdowns this year. 1 of 72 against West, 1 of 47 against Los Banos. Rob Post does all the kicking for Lincoln. And there was movement, and I think it was the Trojans. Dwayne Hebner will give us a quick call here.
False start. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
That'll move back the Trojans 5. Each team's now at a penalty. The first game in the regular season back on the 3rd of October between these two took a while to get going. As I said, it was 13-6 at the half. Neither offense had much going. Guyton was really the best offensive player for either team, but then it got going in the second half. In fact, the first 4 possessions of the second half were touchdowns, 2 each way. Then a couple of punts, a field goal by Lincoln to make it a 6-point game. Snap goes over the head of Post. Post picking it up, but he's going to be tackled at the 10. The snap went over the head of Rob Post. Rashawn Warren, the long snapper for Lincoln, he missed the game 2 weeks ago with the shoulder injury against Chavez. But he was back last week, and it goes over the head of Post. The quarterback, of course, not your usual punter, has a chance to run around, but the snap was so far over his head. All he could do was run it down and then was tackled. So look at St. Mary's starting on the 10. So the turnover, the fumble by St. Mary's led to no points, but then the bad snap here really sets it up for St. Mary's, and they get going with Maurice Howes, but couldn't get on track that time. Javier Garibay, also Josh Torres, all there. It would appear to be no gain on the play. Line of scrimmage officially the 12. 7th carry for Howes. Lekic in the backfield this time on 2nd and 10. Vaz has some time. Nobody's open. Now he finds Howes, who couldn't hold it. Would have been inside the 5. A lot of traffic in that area. Goes incomplete. Three of 5 now for Cody Vaz. And it's 3rd down and 10, and quite frankly, St. Mary's has to capitalize. They got the ball at the 12 of Lincoln off the snap. The bad snap, that is. They have to find a way to get 7 out of this, and I would imagine they may consider going for 2. They don't want to settle for a field goal right here. Didn't need me to tell you that. 2 minutes exactly to go in the first quarter. Lincoln leading 8-0. Harper, he might throw it. Looking back to Vaz. Vaz catches it, but it's a short gain, and he's tackled at the 5 by Damian McMiller. Ends up being about 7 yards, but of course on a play like that, you want to lead the quarterback into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 4th and 3. So Harper, that's his first pass of the season. He's a good athlete, and he completes it. And it looks like St. Mary's is going to settle for the field goal with it 4th and 3, and probably going to be a little disappointed considering they started that series out on the 12. There's Vaz talking with Adam Pyle, the quarterback coach. He gets the plays from up top from Doug Carresco, the O coordinator, and relays it to Pyle, or to Vaz. Here's Moses Villarreal for the field goal, but there are whistles. delay a game against St. Mary's.
5-yard penalty. Still down.
So it's going to march the Rams back 5, although quite frankly it was a tough angle. The 5 yards might make it a little better angle for Villarreal, who hasn't missed a PAT this year. A soccer guy joined the team about midway through the year. He's made 2 field goals. Chaz Smith, the holder. This is from 27. Snap a little high. On its way. No good. So St. Mary's took over at the 12 of Lincoln after the bad snap on the Lincoln punt. The 27-yard field goal from Villarreal is no good. And not only does St. Mary's not get a touchdown, they don't get anything out of it. Crucial series there. Still early, of course, but you can't leave points on the table, as the saying goes. 1:06 to play in the opening quarter. It's already seen a lot happen. 1 touchdown on the board, and Lincoln also got the 2-point conversion after a St. Mary's penalty. So a penalty maybe led to a 2-pointer for Lincoln and maybe aided missing the field goal. Lincoln changing their alignment here on 1st and 10. Hazelton went in motion. Spanos takes it. Short gain there. And it's Malou Penatani, who no doubt will make it more difficult to run on the inside. Penatani didn't play the first time against Lincoln. This is his 5th game. Transfer from St. Francis in the Bay Area to Tracy. He's a cousin of P.J. Gutenbiel, who's on the St. Mary's team as well. A nice addition for the Rams. That was a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. First time Spanos has been held in check. 4 carries for him for 66. Post, his pass was deflected in the line of scrimmage. It may have been Penatani, who's 6'4", 275 pounds. There he is, number 72. So 3 guys wearing cast defensively for St. Mary's in Austin Joshua, Devin Lagoria, who will see a defensive line, and then also John Sanguinetti, and they lost Sean McGowan. He was injured last week against Los Banos to a broken hand. All those guys with broken hands, 3 of them playing with casts here tonight. 3rd and 7 from the 24. Lincoln has to get near the 31. Open is Corbett, but the pass was too high and behind him. Corbett could have run for days. And so post to punt. Gets the snap this time. Good high punt. Harper has the fair catch. And he does so at the 43. There is a flag down. Post is saying it's against St. Mary's. Was it roughing the punter potentially? Dwayne Hebner will give us the call. It almost looks like Dwayne Hebner is saying it's a 5-yarder, which would be running into the punter, which I'm assuming is the call. It wouldn't be enough for a first down. It was 4th and 7. Wouldn't be enough for a first down, but you could re-punt. The Lincoln Brain Trust discussing this if they do in fact want to let post punt again.
It's going to be a 5-yard penalty, re-kick, 4th down.
You see, as Dwayne Hebner said, it's running into the kicker. So a 5-yard penalty, but Lincoln will re-punt. The rest of the crew, the umpire is Steve Richmond. The head linesman is Chip Jones. Back judge is Jeffrey Williams. The line judge is Brad Trimble. And the alternate is Greg Arnold. Third penalty against St. Mary's. 4th and 2, but the ball's at the 27. Low snap to post, but he booms it. But Harper may have a chance to return it. From the 34, Harper makes a move. And he gets across the 45 to about the 46. So St. Mary's actually gains 3 yards with Lincoln repunting. Good starting field position, but the last time St. Mary's had it at the 12 of Lincoln and didn't get any points out of it. 8-0 Trojans on top. Now from the 47 for St. Mary's. Maybe the final play of the opening quarter. Maurice Howes hit in the backfield by Gavin Washington, and he's going to lose 2. And there's 0 showing on the clock. And that'll do it for the opening quarter of play from Alex G. Spanos Stadium here on the Lincoln High School campus. Lincoln on top 8-0 on a 25-yard touchdown reception by Josh Corbett. They got the 2-point conversion. We're back with the second quarter in just a bit here on Comcast SJTV Sports.
Watch the Comcast SJTV Sports High School Football Game of the Week, Friday nights at 10:30 and throughout the weekend on Comcast Cable Channel 26, as Comcast SJTV Sports brings you coverage of all the local TCAL, SJAA, and VOL teams all season long. Join us for the ride to the section championship. Watch Comcast SJTV Channel 26 all weekend long for local high school football, starting on Friday nights at 10:30.
St. Mary's and Lincoln here in round 2 of the playoffs. In 03, they played in the second round. St. Mary's won after losing the regular season game. Last year, they played in the semifinals. St. Mary's won that and the regular season game to get the sweep, and that's what the Rams are trying to do here tonight. This is the 12th meeting between the two teams in the decade. St. Mary's leads 6-5. They've won 4 in a row. Lincoln won 4 in a row early in the decade. Of course, making their run to 3 straight semifinals and 2 finals from 2000-2002. We start quarter number 2. Louis Leckitz, the intended receiver. Jamal Campbell there in coverage. The St. Mary's sideline wanted a flag. The Lincoln sideline said good coverage. It was a tight play. Some booing from the St. Mary's sideline from the fans. 3rd and 12 now after the incompletion. 3rd down and 12. Now St. Mary's, they go with the no-huddle offense. Coach Frank says it's not the hurry-up, though. Doug Carrasco, again, the offensive coordinator, calls it down from the booth to Adam Powell, the quarterback coach, who relays it to Cody Vaz, the 2-year starter, and he was up with the varsity, was Vaz as a sophomore, backing up Pete Murdaca. 3rd and 12 at the 45. Vaz with time. It goes off the hands of Harper and falls incomplete. And so St. Mary's is going to have to punt for a second time. They've missed a field goal and they've fumbled their 4 offensive possessions. The first matchup when St. Mary's won 28-22, that was the only time St. Mary's has won this year and not scored 40. And the 28th that Lincoln yielded, the most the Trojans have given up this season. 4th and 12, Michaels to punt for a second time. Gross and Spanos wait at the 20, and there's all kinds of flags. Again, it's 4th and 12, so if it's against Lincoln, it's not going to give St. Mary's a first down.
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And so now it's 4th and 7. Line of scrimmage right at midfield. St. Mary's. Field turf a season ago. They've had it for 2 years. Lincoln has had their field turf since 2003. Through the generosity of Alex G. Spanos, who lives just beyond the visiting bleachers. Gross was coming up to play, and then it bounces in front of him. Wisely lets it go, and it's down by Shannon Clark at the 13. So not good field position here for Lincoln, but the Trojans lead 8-0. St. Mary's offense hasn't really gotten going. They were moving the ball in their opening possession, and there was a sack. And for that matter, St. Mary's was moving on their second possession. That's when Ruhl hit Vaz, forcing the fumble that Joe Dowd recovered. Lincoln now has it for a fourth time. They've punted once, were attempting to punt another time when the snap went over the head of Rob Post, and they had a touchdown on their first possession, a 25-yard reception by Josh Corbett. At the 13, 1st and 10 Trojans, 2 receivers to each side. Here goes Spanos. Michael Spanos into the secondary. Finally brought down at the 34-yard line as he picks up 21. Spanos, the moves, again, elusive, tough to bring down. 5'11", 180. Not a huge back, decent size, but he is so hard to bring down. 5 carries now, 87 yards, so almost to 100 for a 7th time this year. Has scored 26 touchdowns. 6 times he's had 2 in a game, 3 times 3. And 4 against Chavez that last game of the regular season. 1st and 10, there's a bunch formation. Now Hazleton goes in motion. Ruhl in there. Philip Ruhl runs with it. Scott Copraviza brings him down. We'll say 3 for Ruhl on his second carry. His brother Nick at Stanford now playing quarterback, former Trojan quarterback in 05. Led Lincoln to the postseason through 16 touchdowns. He's in town, saw him earlier. 2nd and 7. Michael Spanos back in there. Jim Rubiales felt like his team had to be able to throw the ball to set up the run, but Spanos popped that 45-yarder on the first play, and the Trojans were off. There is a flag down. This may come back. That's a 10-yard run by Spanos, which would be a first down, but I think this may come back. Jim Rubiales in his 12th year as the head coach at Lincoln in his second
Illegal
stint
formation here
as head coach at Lincoln, but he's been at Lincoln in one form or another for 33 years. Defensive coordinator under Mike Johnson and Mike Byerly, the previous 2 coaches.
Illegal formation, offense, not enough men on the line. We're going to repeat, 2nd down.
Coach Rubiales, 102 wins, 8 SJAA titles, including 3 straight for Lincoln. Lincoln has won every SJAA championship in the decade, some of those except for 2004 when, St. Mary's won it. Of course, St. Mary's now in the TCAL. They've won the last 2 TCAL titles. 2nd and 12 because of the penalty. Pump by Post, looking deep to David Carmen, and a little long. Carmen saying he was held up by Hurst. There was certainly some contact off the pump, but a good job by Hurst as that goes incomplete. Just 1 of 6 for Lincoln. The only completed pass through the air was the touchdown to Corbin. Trying to go deep there to David Carmen. Has 1 touchdown this season, does Carmen. That came against Vintage. 3rd and 12. As there hasn't been much offense from either team now except for the opening possession from Lincoln. Again, you could argue St. Mary's was on the move twice, and they did miss a field goal, but that was after they started on the 12-yard line. 8-0 Lincoln. On 3rd and 12. Post in some trouble. Spun around. And Penatoni now gets some help, and Post will go down. A loss of about a half a yard, I'd say, so we'll give it a sack. For the most part, Rob Post has had some time when he's gone back to pass. Not the case there. Talked about Post and now really being 0-4 against St. Mary's, 0-3 as a starter. Cody Vaz, on the other hand, as a starter, is 3-0 and has very good numbers against Lincoln. 6 touchdowns, 700 yards, and 2 picks. Post to punt. Lining up to do so for a 3rd straight time. Harper back waiting for it. Post kicks it away from him on the bounce. Harper takes it to 28. Breaks the tackle of Alfred Gross. Here goes Josh Harper. Harper still on his feet. Stops on a dime, but he was out of bounds at the 47. That's a 19-yard punt return by Josh Harper. And let's see if that sparks St. Mary's a little bit. See Harper try and size it up. There's Jordan Enos down there, and then did just step on the sideline, say the officials. Be a good look from up top, and let's see, yep, looked like he was definitely on the line. 1st and 10, St. Mary's. They've definitely had the better of the field position, but haven't taken advantage. There's J.D. Willis, the O-line coach. You see him in the background looking on. Guyton following his blockers. He'll get to the 50. Garibay and Torres bring him down after a 4-yard run. Guyton's second carry. 2nd and 6. Josh Torres, a junior, started last year as a sophomore, had an ankle injury, missed some time, but is a returning starter for the Trojans. 11 tackles in the first matchup with St. Mary's. 2nd and 6 from midfield. Vaz will go back into the gun. 3 receivers to the right. But it's another run with Ray Guyton. Lagarbo waiting for him, also gets a lot of help as Lincoln swarms to it defensively. McMiller's certainly a big part of that play as well as they unpile. And it may even be a loss of a yard. I think it is. We'll say 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7, clock moving, nearing 8 minutes to go. Here in the opening half, Lincoln leading 8-0. They scored on their first possession and got a 2-point conversion. At the 49, 4 receivers in the pattern, 2 to each side, but they're in very tight. Vaz to Lekic, near a first down, and maybe short as Forrest Coleman has a fine tackle. It's going to be about a half-yard shy, and we'll see now if St. Mary's goes for it. Nice tackle by Coleman. Kind of a jack of all trades for Lincoln. Could play a little linebacker, a little corner. It's 4th and less than a yard. Let's see if St. Mary's goes with a quick snap to Vaz. It may be a quick snap here to Vaz. It is. And I think he has it. He only needed about a half a yard. And Vaz, who has scored 6 rushing touchdowns, just follows Jordan Carl there, the outstanding center, and picks up the first down. And no question, that's the right call with less than a yard to go. Even though it's at the 45, St. Mary's going to go for that every time with Vaz. Use his size and also the strength of Carl, the center. 1st and 10, near the 43 of Lincoln. Maurice Howes back in there, gets a block. Howes down the sideline. Maurice Howes to the 2. A 41-yard run. Got a nice block from Nick Alonzo, the left guard. And Howes stays on his feet inside the 5. Got a little straight arm there. And then Darrell Cash saves the touchdown. Ball spotted back now at the 4, so it's a 39-yard run. From up top, you can see the play. And St. Mary's actually going to huddle right here. They have that jumbo package in with Alonzo in the backfield. Jordan Davis, the deep back. We'll see if he gets it. There's a whistle. I thought it might have been in the stands. It's Jordan Davis, touchdown, and Davis has been automatic from in close. That's his 10th touchdown the last 6 games. There is definitely a whistle, but I think it was in the stands on the Lincoln side. St. Mary's scores from 4 yards out with Davis, and it looks like the Rams are going to go for 2. But they went to that jumbo package, did the Rams. They've been very successful at that, and they're showing the jumbo package again here. Davis, and he is turned back. Forrest Coleman, and that's no good. So it remains 8-6. That's the touchdown, the toss to Davis, his 10th in the last 6 games, but then basically the same play from St. Mary's on the 2-point conversion. That's the touchdown. On the 2-point conversion, It was stopped by Lincoln, and so it's 8-6 Trojans. Now, here's the thing for St. Mary's. As I said, they've won 21 of 24. 2 of those losses were by 2 points. That's the conversion. Rule was in on that play. He also forced the earlier fumble. In fact, a lot of that is Rule right there with Coleman and I believe LaGarbo. The two of those 3 games St. Mary's has lost, they were blown out by Bellarmine, basically. The other 2 were a 2-point loss to Napa last year and 2-point to Central this year. And in those games, they had issues with extra points. They had to start going for it with 2-point tries and just were chasing points. The rest of those games end up losing both by 2. Well, of course, they're chasing Lincoln here because they got the 2-point conversion. But it goes without saying, both teams have scored a touchdown, but the Rams are down by 2. So maybe a little deja vu, at least early in this game. Gross on the return from the 15. Alfred Gross does have 1 kick return for a touchdown this year. Able to get to the 33. Lincoln, they've been a bit stagnant offensively after scoring their first drive. They lead by 2. Alfred Gross, his brother Tyrone, leading the Trojans to a section title back in 2000, the first for a team from the city of Stockton. Didn't play football last year, playing the varsity for Edison as a sophomore. First and 10 at the 33. Spanos tackled almost immediately by Malou Penatani. Maybe 2 there. 6 carries for 89. Second and 8. Clock moving, under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Trojans by 2. Rashawn Warren goes in motion. It's a run again with Spanos. He's turned back after a short gain. And it's Penatani again. We talked about Corbett being a factor with the touchdown after not playing the first time for Lincoln. Here's Penatani, who didn't play the first time for St. Mary's, being a factor. Another 2-yard gain. 3rd and 6. St. Mary's doing a much better job against Spanos as of late. 3rd and 6 here for Lincoln with the ball at the 38 or just shy of it. They have to get up to the 44 to pick up the first down. Out of the gun for Rob Post. Floating for Hazelton and floats it too far. John Saris there in coverage. It goes incomplete. And it's now 1 of 7 for Post, and he's missed on his last 6. And now he'll have to Post will have to punt. His brother Tyler on the Lincoln staff, former Trojan quarterback. His mom Kate always does a great job running the Stockton Asparagus Festival, the highly profitable Stockton Asparagus Festival. Good high punt. Fair catch signaled by Harper. Takes it in at about the 33. So Lincoln went touchdown, then bad snap on the punt, and 3 straight punts now. After they looked like they were going to come out on fire offensively, they've struggled. They do lead, though, by 2. They may put some time back on the clock. I think a few extra seconds wound down. Dwayne Hebner motioning up to the booth right in front of Jim Rubiales. So Coach Rubiales, one of his sons, Richard, played at UC Davis, recruited by Tony Franks. Coach Franks and Coach Rubiales have known each other for a long time. Even when Coach Franks was at UC Davis, he recruited this area. So, of course, would oftentimes come in contact with Lincoln. Both in their second stint at head coaches at their respective schools. Vaz has some time, looking deep to Smith. Nice catch, Chaz Smith. Hauls it in at the 30. It hung up and Smith went to get it. A 37-yard reception. Vaz stepping up, showing that arm strength. And look at Chaz Smith hang in the air. Acrobatic play from him for Smith, his 21st reception. He had 2 in the first matchup with Lincoln. Howes fighting for some extra yardage. Sterling Thomas has to hop in there. And Howes will get 4. .425 and ticking. Slant, Lekic, ball came loose, still on the ground. Who has it? Lincoln saying they do. And the officials concur. It's Damian McMiller with the recovery. His 3rd fumble recovery of the season. 2nd turnover of the game by St. Mary's. There's Lekic. Yep, he tucked it in and just lost the handle as he was tackled by Gross. Ball bounced around for a while. And McMiller, the strongest, at the bottom of the pile. Lincoln has it at the 18. So again, St. Mary's on the move and nothing to show for it. Their 2nd turnover, 2nd fumble. Flag goes up as Spanos runs. Against Lincoln. Their 4th. Here's the call.
Illegal formation, not enough men on the line of scrimmage on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
A couple of times that's gone against Lincoln at this point in the season, week number 12. Shouldn't be happening. So the fumble, really it looked like Lekic was trying to put it away. Didn't get popped out of there, he just lost the handle. Of course, it's field turf, but it's still slick. A lot of the St. Mary's receivers wearing gloves. I believe Lekic is as well. Spanos gets a big block. And there's a Ram defender down. Spanos up to the 17, a 9-yard run. And there is a Ram player down. Let's see if we can pick it up right here. There's the block. Might have been Carmen, the receiver, with the block. Can't make out exactly the injured Ram player. Maybe from up top we can see it. Yep, and it was John Saris, and he never saw it coming. He's down. Now remember, St. Mary's already a little depleted in that linebacking core. They're without Sean McGowan, their 4th leading tackler, Travis White, in there. And if Saris goes down, we may see Steven Patterson come in to play linebacker. Or maybe some other alignment defensively for the Rams. But Saris just didn't see it coming. He is the team's leading tackler. Had 11 the first time against Lincoln. Spanos got about 9 on that run. Got up to the 17. It's about 2nd and 7 upcoming with 3:39 on the clock. You see Saris still down. Interesting game so far. St. Mary's has had their chances. They missed a field goal. They fumbled twice. They've certainly looked better on offense than Lincoln. Lincoln looked great in their opening possession. Really not much since then. And unfortunately, Saris is still down. There's Coach Franks now looking over the training staff as well. Louis Tuitama, the father of Willie Tuitama, the former standout QB at St. Mary's. You see Saris, there's some movement certainly, which is good, but I don't think he's feeling that good right now, which is a shame. Now he's up though, that's good. And Certainly the Rams would love to have him back in. Looks like Louis Lekic's going to play some defense as well. Again, a block from David Carmen that Sarah just never saw coming. He was drilled. Spanos got about 9 on that play. Post running for it on second down, slides, and we'll have enough for a first down, it looks like. Gets about 7, does Rob Post. Post, the first time against St. Mary's, as I said, he did not start, came in late in the half, but played very well despite 2 interceptions. One was a Hail Mary at the end of the game. 10 of 16, 116 yards. He's now thrown 13 of his 15 touchdowns in the last 7 games. Had 3 last week in the win against Davis when he was 9 of 13 for 228. First and 10 for Lincoln. Corbett to the left. Spanos is tripped up. Might end up getting close to 4. We'll say second and a long 6 upcoming. 9 carries now for Spanos, who averages nearly 10 carries per game, rather 10 yards per carry, I should say. And really only about 10 or 11 carries per game a lot of times because Lincoln is blowing people out. Here goes Spanos. He's into the secondary. Michael Spanos. Down to the 33. A 40-yard run for him. He had a 45-yarder earlier in the game. And Spanos, 10 carries, 144 yards, 14.4 a pop. The average is about 9.7, which is ridiculous in its own right. 14.4, very impressive. He's at 85 yards, though, on 2 carries. Lincoln leading 8-6, final 2:20 of the opening half. Rob Post in the shotgun. 2 receivers each side. Spreading out the field with the Hazleton run. Josh Banks wraps him up. And then multiple defenders pile on for some help. Banks and Harper, the only 2 returnees on defense from a year ago for St. Mary's, a team that went to the section final, but they've pitched 3 shutouts this year, and also 7 of 11 games they held the opponent to 19 or less. The seniors who didn't play much last year and became starters this year have really matured for St. Mary's. Hazleton got 2. Second and 8. Lincoln has 2 timeouts left. Time not yet a factor, but it could be pretty soon. Line of scrimmage, the 32. Still that one back look with Hazleton. Post faking to him. Throwing deep to Carmen. And he can hold it. Would have been 6. Would have been a nice catch. Post put it there. It falls incomplete, and Lincoln now 1 of 8 passing, although can't put that one on Post. You saw a lot of the Lincoln players already jumping up. They thought maybe it was a touchdown. We'll have a great look at it from here. Carmen had a step, hit the left shoulder. 3rd and 8 after the incompletion. Stopped the clock with 1:22 to go in the first half. Lincoln scored on their first possession and got a 2-point conversion. St. Mary's scored on a run by Jordan Davis, went for 2, did not get it. Timeout taken by St. Mary's. St. Mary's takes the timeout. They're first. Dave Tipton, their defensive coordinator, will come out and talk with the squad and gives us a chance to look at the matchups between these 2 teams recently. St. Mary's has won 4 in a row and 6 out of 7. But the last 2 have been decided by a combined total of 9 points. That was earlier this year. You see at the bottom, 28-22. And last year in the section semifinals, 24-21. And you go back to 03. That was when Lincoln won in the last week of the regular season when the teams were both still in the SJA. St. Mary's then came back 2 weeks later and won in the postseason. Lincoln's trying to reverse that this year, lose in the regular season and win in the postseason. As I said, Lincoln won 4 in a row early in the decade from 2000 to 2003. But the similarities are eerie between these teams. Both have been to 6 section semifinals, both to 2 finals, each with 1 win. Lincoln in 2000 over Elk Grove, St. Mary's in 2004 against Nevada Union. Both have the field turf going this year. In fact, 68 touchdowns scored for St. Mary's this year, 67 for Lincoln coming in. And Lincoln coming in had scored 2 more points on the season, 473 to 471. Now 4 more points with the 8-6 score here tonight. 3rd and 8, Statue of Liberty. Spanos, he didn't get a good handle on it, and then Travis White makes a nice play. Good to see John Saris back in there as well. And White, a guy who's filling in for the injured Sean McGowan, though he's played this year, made a nice tackle on Spanos. Rams not fooled. That was a 1-yard run, and it's 4th and 7. Lincoln may be considering going for it because the line of scrimmage is about the 31, and it's under a minute to go. Lincoln probably going to let some time run down, maybe take a timeout here and possibly still go for it. It's 4th and 7, though, upcoming. Lincoln leading by 2. Again, the weather's great. It's cold, but it is at the end of November. It's supposed to be cold. And a little surprised we've only seen 14 combined points. St. Mary's has turned it over twice and has missed a field goal. They've certainly been better on offense, but Lincoln leading on the scoreboard, which is all that matters. And they did create the 2 turn. Well, one, Lekic lost the handle, but the other certainly was created by the big hit from Philip Rule. So you have to give the Lincoln defense credit for that. Jim Rubiales, the head coach for Lincoln, is also a very strong defensive mind and works on the defensive side of things with Reggie Camp, the D coordinator. That's Brian Gray, the offensive coordinator, talking to Lincoln right now. Went to Lincoln, but he was a St. Mary's assistant for a couple of years in 2004 and 2005. In 2004, that was the St. Mary's team that won the title. There's Tyler Post in the white shirt talking to one of the officials. His brother Rob right in front of him. And so Lincoln, I'm guessing they're going for it. That, at the very least, they don't want to give St. Mary's much time if they do decide to punt, but it looks like the offensive guys are going back on the field. Of course, you can never tell with Post because he punts and plays quarterback. Eric Alves with you here on Comcast SJTV, round 2 of the playoffs. I mentioned the winner of this game plays the winner of Johansson and Merced. Most people assume it to be Merced. If Merced wins and Lincoln wins, the game will be here next week. If Merced wins and St. Mary's wins, St. Mary's will have to go to Merced next week as St. Mary's only lost 1 game this year. Lincoln going for it on 4th down. Post throwing, looking to Cooks. Cooks has it to the 20. Nice catch there off the fingertips and the control to hold it by Cooks, using the hands to make the catch away from the body. 11-yard reception for the sophomore. Last 4 games, 12 catches for him, 300 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns. 5 receiving, 1 rushing, 1 on a kick return. And it looks like Lincoln has taken their final timeout here with 35 seconds to go. Yep, that is charge to Lincoln. Nice catch by Cooks, his 29th of the year. Last week, 4 for 157, 2 receiving touchdowns against Davis, and a 75-yard punt return. Watch it again. You see him look at the fingers. Yep, brings it in. Nicely done, sir. Second completion for the Trojans, and they're out of timeout, so they're going to have to probably keep it in the air. If they run, they're going to have to get to the line in a hurry. 35 seconds, still a decent amount of time, but the ball's at the 20. It's not like they're inside the 10. This is the 9th time we've seen St. Mary's and Lincoln on SJTV. First saw them back in 1998 when they played for the SJA title, and you look at it, 98, 2002, 03, and 04, they played the last game of the regular season with the winner winning the SJA title. In 98, it was a co-title, but St. Mary's was the 1 seed. And as I mentioned, this is now the 3rd time in 6 years and 2nd time in 2 years where the teams have met in the postseason. And they've been the 2 best teams in the southern half of the section Division I, no question, this decade. 7 out of 8 years, one of these teams has been in the semifinals. Last year, both, and it'll be 8 out of 9 this year. First down. Post in trouble. He can't get sacked. A lot of time's going to go off the clock. Post goes down. Lincoln out of timeouts. Clock ticking. It was Banks on the sack, down to 23 seconds. 2nd and about 14. Post has to spike it. And that was a disaster for Lincoln. They end up blowing about 20 seconds from the time they snapped it on first down to the spike right there. Only 15.8 to go. The sack brings the ball back to the 24. So you're looking at about a 41-yard field goal from here. Brian Gray yelling the play to Rob Post and saying, hey, don't forget it. Can't be in the field of play. 3rd and 14 after Post spikes it. 3rd and 14. But really the time's the factor here with 15.8 seconds to go. Lincoln has to either throw it to the end zone, go to the sidelines, or pick up the first down and quickly spike it. Post throwing. Intercepted almost by Capravizzi. He had it. And the final seconds as he hit the ground, it rolled off his fingers. And with 10.1 to go, it looks like Lincoln's going to try the field goal, which, as I said, would be about a 41-yarder. Post did make a 40-yarder the first time against St. Mary's. And you see Capravizzi, I mean, he had it for a second and a half and just came to the ground. Spanos to hold. It'll be about 40. Low snap. Spanos puts it down. Kick on the way. It's good. And so Post, for the second time against St. Mary's, makes a 40-yard field goal, and what a weapon that is. St. Mary's has missed a field goal in this game. They've also missed a two-point conversion. Lincoln has gotten the field goal and the two-point conversion, and that's why they lead by the ever-popular score of 11-6. So the sack was almost a disaster for Lincoln, but because they have the leg of Post, they still get points out of it. Lincoln has it for nearly 4 full minutes. $11 plays on that drive. And they get their first points on the kick by Post. Let's see where it lands. It went off the net. It went off the net. That tells you the net's a good, 10, maybe more than that away. It goes off the net. I mean, that had the chance to be good from 45, 50, maybe more. I mean, I don't want to get carried away here. Probably from 50 for sure, maybe even 53, 54. Of course, you're kicking off the field turf, which helps, but still. And give Spanos a lot of credit. The snap bounced. Or dribbled back to him, maybe is a better way of saying it, and he was able to put it down. 5 seconds to go. Post is probably just going to squib it here. St. Mary's up close, anticipating that. Nope. Kind of an in-between kick. Guyton, fair catch signal at the 17, so the time does not start. St. Mary's has one play if they choose. Probably will just take a knee. Never know with them. Certainly Vass has the arm to throw it down the field, but you'd hate to take a chance at your own 17. So the two-pointer on the first touchdown by Lincoln and the field goal by Post of 40 yards. Might have been 40 and a half. The difference right now, 11-6 Lincoln. And Vaz just going to take a knee here with this alignment. There's the St. Mary's sideline. And let's see, why is there a stoppage? Timeout taken by St. Mary's, okay. Not sure why. Maybe they're rethinking this, and Tony Frank's going to meet his squad over there. Coach Franks, as I mentioned, in his second stint at his alma mater, 10 years now in total, was the head coach from 84 to 86, went on to some collegiate coaching. There's Coach in the sweater, the gray sweater, now kind of obscured by number 79, Evan Fletcher. But Tony Franks, in the last 7 years, pretty impressive run for him, 62-24. 7 straight years in the playoffs, and St. Mary's has been in the semifinals 4 out of 5 years. And, of course, won the title in 04, went to the finals last year. Only year they didn't in the last 5 go to the semis was 06, when they were beaten early by Merced, and they could see Merced next week if they win. They beat Merced last year, did St. Mary's, in round 2 on the road, and they'd have to do it on the road again this year at Merced Junior College if they won here tonight and Merced won. So, yeah, St. Mary's, they're rethinking it. They're going to try and throw it with 5.4 to go in the first half. Maybe the final play of the half. Vaz looking to Lekic. Nice catch there, but the clock shows zeros. It's a 28-yard reception. But that is the way the first half ends. The teams head to the locker room. Still 24 minutes to go. There's Rob Post. His leg gives Lincoln a 5-point lead. 11-6 here at the half. Lincoln on top. 1 half to go to determine who moves on and plays in the semifinals. Back with the second half in just a bit here on Comcast SJTV Sports. There's Cody Vaz warming up on the sideline as we're about set to go here in the second half. He won't get the ball first. Lincoln will, and the Trojans lead 11-6. Lincoln scored on their first possession on a 25-yard reception by Josh Corbin. There was a penalty by St. Mary's on the point after, so Lincoln went for two. A run by David Hazelton. He got it. 8-0 Lincoln. Then St. Mary's scored midway through the second quarter on a 4-yard run by Jordan Davis. The Rams went for two to try and tie it up. Davis was stopped. 8-6 Lincoln, and then 5 seconds to go at the end of the half. Rob Post a 40-yard field goal, giving us our 11-6 score. As we look at the first half numbers, Lincoln 6 possessions. They had a touchdown, a field goal, 3 punts, and 1 bad snap, but basically turning it over on downs. St. Mary's 7 possessions, 1 touchdown. They fumbled twice, missed a field goal, punted twice, and then the end of the half when they just had 1 play. You see the overall offensive numbers for St. Mary's are good. 200-plus yards of total offense. Cody Vaz was 7 of 11 for 128. The penalties, though, hurt a little bit on the 2-point try and missing the field goal because there was a penalty right before the field goal try by Moses Villarreal, made it 5 yards longer. And the 2 turnovers, Lincoln got 3 points off the second fumble. It was a fumble by Lekic, and then also Vaz fumbled when he was hit by Philip Rule. Lincoln 129 yards on the ground, much of that coming from Michael Spanos. In fact, Spanos has 145, but there's some negative yardage in there from the team. Remember, Post recovered that bad snap, so there's some negative rushing yardage. That's why it's 129. Now, Post was just 2 of 12 passing, but one of those was the touchdown to Corbin. 4 penalties by Lincoln. They did not turn it over, though the snap was in essence turning it over on downs at their own 12, but that was when St. Mary's missed the field goal. They couldn't capitalize. St. Mary's has had the better field position. You could argue they've moved the ball better. They have more total offense, but they trail by 5, and Lincoln will get it to start first here in the second half. The winner of this game plays the winner of Johansson and Merced. Most people figure it to be Merced, who just has 1 loss. If Lincoln wins, they'd be home next week here at Alex G. Spanos Stadium. If St. Mary's wins, they would go to Merced. That's again assuming Merced wins. If Johansson pulls the upset, they would have to be on the road to either one of these 2 teams. Then the winner of that game goes on to play in the Division I section final on the 13th of December at the University of the Pacific, where they'll meet the North champion, if you will. The Final Four in the North right now, Pleasant Grove playing Nevada Union tonight, and Napa, the defending section champion, playing Laguna Creek. So Villarreal sporting the lime green shoes. Going to kick it off. St. Mary's went with the black pants, the home pants, and the road whites. Lincoln with a triumvirate back deep, Gross, Spanos, and Campbell. As the second half is underway, it's a short kick though. Rule at the 34, dodges 1 tackler, then blows up another, and gets up to the 42, uses running back skills there. And so Lincoln will start off with good field position. You see Philip Rule there. Mentioned his brother Nick playing here at Lincoln. Also a couple of sisters before him coming here. Adriana, an outstanding volleyball player. Nicoletta, a swimmer. And then his twin, Alexandra, a very good soccer player here at Lincoln, a junior as well. Lincoln up by 5 as we start half number 2 here in the Second round of the playoffs, CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tire Football Playoffs, presented by Farmers Insurance. Post pumping, looking deep to Corbin. Has a step. Corbin, diving catch to the 26. A 32-yard pass play. We saw that hitch and go in the first half when Carmen was the intended receiver, but he kind of got tangled up with the DB. That time, Corbin had a step, and he has the size as well. Corbin lays out at 6'5" and makes a fine catch, coming right at you. And so Corbin, his second catch for 57 yards, and he has a touchdown. What a difference it is for Lincoln having him in there. He did not play the first time against St. Mary's, battling a hamstring injury. Lincoln in business, 1st and 10 from the 26. Swing pass, Michael Spanos has some space. Spanos navigating the field inside the 15 to the 13. That's a 13-yard pickup. And Lincoln, much like they started the game, on the move here to start the second half. Hazelton and Grudel back in the lineup, replacing Campbell and Carmen. And Spanos so dangerous when he gets it out in space. That's his first reception of the night, 9th of the year. Fourth completion for Post for 81 yards. Hands it to Spanos. Possibly a yard or so, maybe no gain is the official spot. It looks like it is going to be no gain. Spanos, 12 carries now, 145 yards. His season high came in a win, really the only tight league game for Lincoln when they beat Lodi, 231 yards in that game. Spanos had 1 touchdown against Lodi, the only game where he scored less than 2. Doesn't have one here tonight, but his running really led to the first one. He had that 45-yard run on the first play from scrimmage. Second down here and long. Probably officially 9.5, but certainly second and 10, very valid. 2 receivers to the left, now 2 to the right. A lot of 4 receiver looks tonight from Lincoln. Again, a swing pass to Spanos. Nice job by him just to catch it, then breaks tackles. Spanos inside the 10. He might be close to the 8. And he had to work pretty hard to pick up 5. It's almost like an extended handoff. And just right, left, the quick stops by Spanos. 3rd and 5. 3 straight plays where he's handled the ball. 2 receptions, 1 run. There is Michael Spanos as Philip Rule replaces him. Spanos got to be tired. And I mentioned it's not that cold. Well, it's cold. You can see the breath of the players, and certainly as we pass 9 o'clock, it's going to get colder. 3rd and 5. Post. Looking to Hazelton. He has the catch and a touchdown. David Hazelton from 8 yards out, the receiving touchdown. And Lincoln scores first here in the second half. And you got to like the play calling on that opening drive. Rob Post only completed 2 passes in the first half. A couple were his fault, a couple were drops. But a lot of swing passes and short drop-offs. The long one, of course, to Corbin. But Post on that drive completes 4 passes out of 5 plays on that drive. And certainly he gets his confidence and gets the touchdown as well. Here's Post on for the point after. In his career, 147 of 159. Make it 148 of 160 for Rob Post, as he's been the kicker for 3 years as well. And it's 18-6 Lincoln, 9:25 to go in the third. And there's no question Lincoln's 2 best offensive drives were the first drive of the game for them and the first drive of the second half. This one really got going, this drive for Lincoln, on the 32-yard pass play to Josh Corbin when he had to stretch out to make a fine play. Hazelton has the receiving touchdown. That's his 11th touchdown of the year, first receiving, his 8th catch of the year. And for a guy at 6'2", 240, has good hands. He's also a good baseball player as well. And Hazelton now has scored 10 touchdowns in the last 7 games. On 4 occasions, he's had 2 touchdowns this season. A returnee from a year ago. Early in the season, battled a little bit of an ankle issue, but certainly with him being the power guy and Spanos on the outside, it's a tough combination for teams to defend. There's Pete Sacco on the distance, the Sac Joaquin section commissioner, taking this one in. Post to kick off. Chad West, the deep man. He's returned a couple from the 1. This is shorter. It's going to be Andy Hurst at the 16. And Hurst just across the 30. And so St. Mary's down by 12. Certainly doable. Plenty of time. No need for them to panic. But they're going to have to get going a little bit here. Lincoln, 2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal to get to their 18. St. Mary's, a touchdown, and they did not get the 2-point conversion. They turned it over twice on fumbles in the first half. But Vaz still played well. He was 7 of 11, 128, and Maurice Howes ran for 80 yards. Rams have to keep doing that, and they do with Maurice Howes. The junior, look at the legs turning. He's run very hard tonight. Garibay and others bring him down. We'll say 4 on that first down run. 11th carry for Maurice Howes, who's really stepped it up. He's going to be scary next year as a senior. Over 1,000 yards. Didn't see as much time early in the year because Ray Guyton was the starter, but Ray Guyton battled a neck injury, and Howes has come in and played very well. 2nd and about 6. Here's Harper. Rule does a nice job to get a piece of him and then gets help, but look at Harper stay on his feet. Harper, first down. Gets to the 48. That's a 14-yard play by Joshua Harper when it looked like he was going to get no gain out of it. You see Rule all over him immediately, but he couldn't bring him down. Those linebackers for Lincoln having to cover receivers because St. Mary's often sends out 4. For Harper, that's his first reception. He only had 1 the first time against Lincoln, but does a very nice job there. 8 for 12 for Vaz. Harper, 55th catch of the year. He has scored 12 touchdowns. He's just a junior, played on the varsity last year and was a key player. Also played varsity basketball as a freshman for Ken Green. Sterling Thomas, who led Lincoln in the first half with 7 tackles, has another there. Howes looks like he'll get 5 again on carry number 12. Up to 90 yards, well on his way to a 100-yard game. Had 56 on the ground the first time against Lincoln, but had that 49-yard screen play, gave him 100 yards of total offense. And 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing and 1 receiving for Howes. 2nd and 5. Vaz down the field to Lekic. Lekic to the 35, taken out by Torres, but a nice pickup. That'll be about 12, and St. Mary's going to work now. Louis Lekic has really come on. In the first half, he had 4 catches for 55. That's now 5 for him. Did have the fumble, though. Certainly would like to atone for that. Mentioned Hazelton is a very good baseball player. Lekic as well, as a pitcher and as a hitter. 6-4 last year for Pete Pyle, 1.51 ERA, hit .375. 1st and 10 at the 36. Draw, Maurice Howes. Tries to go up and over the pile. Rule there. As they unpile also Torres defensively and Javier Garibay, who plays a lot. In fact, Lincoln has 5 guys for those 3 interior spots. Valderrama, Washington, Lagarbo, and then Garibay and Aurora play a lot too. We'll say 4 there. 2nd and 6. 13 carries now for Howes. A lot of him on the ground. And 9 of 13 for Vaz. From the 33. Pass was deflected. And I believe that was Jordan Enos, the outstanding offensive lineman. And look at him playing a little defense here for Lincoln. Hey, here in the postseason, you got to have everybody going. That's part of the reason why St. Mary's is going with Josh Banks as a 2-way guy. So he's playing right tackle. Much of the year just played defense, but Banks, a 2-way guy. And, of course, Harper's been a 2-way guy all year long for St. Mary's. Nice job by Enos, their number 67. Let's see if it is, in fact, his paw. Yep, the starting center goes up and gets it. 3rd down now and 6. Vassar comes McMiller. Gets to him, but too late, and Lekic has it inside the 20 at the 19. That's a 1st down. 14-yard play, and Lekic, the go-to receiver here. His 6th reception, now 81 yards. He had 7 last week, which was a season high. You see McMiller a step too late. Vaz stays in there and delivers. And then in the pile, Lekic goes high to get it. Vaz comes to the line. He's already committed to Oregon State. Trying to go 4-0 as a starter against Lincoln. 1st and 10. Maurice Howes trying to get to the outside. Nothing doing there. Josh Torres and others. Howes will lose at least a yard. We'll call it a yard, 2nd and 11. Clock nearing 6 minutes to go. In the third, Lincoln had it first and moved down the field and scored to go up by 12. You see Adam Pyle in the distance, son of the aforementioned Pete Pyle, signaling in the play to Cody Vaz. Vaz back to the shotgun where he usually is. 2nd and 11. Wide open, Michaels. Touchdown, St. Mary's. 21 yards. And from Michaels, his 5th touchdown receiving this season, 2nd touchdown of the game, and the Ram fans rejoice. Michaels was wide open. Somebody missed the coverage. 18-12 now. 5:55 to go in the third. Villarreal on for the point after. He is 21 of 21 this season. One of 3 guys who has kicked PATs this year. For St. Mary's. Tellis to snap, Chaz Smith the hold. High snap. Smith does a nice job to get it down. And it's 18-13, Lincoln, 5:55 to go. Here's the touchdown. Nobody close to Michaels. Dowd gets to him, but far too late. Michaels, the touchdown. Vaz, the delivery. Didn't throw one the first time against Lincoln, but has one here tonight. Does Cody Vaz, and he's thrown a touchdown in all but 2 games this season. Didn't throw one against Bellarmine nor Lincoln. Threw a touchdown in every game last year. So that's 24 out of 26 games in his varsity career as a starter that Vaz has thrown a touchdown. 16 of the previous 25 multi-touchdown games. We'll see. He still has a quarter and a half to go in this one. Don't forget, you can see this game on demand starting Monday afternoon and, of course, throughout the weekend. Certainly, if Lincoln's at home next week, we would do that game. If St. Mary's goes to Merced, we most likely would not have a game next weekend. But if the Rams win here and win at Merced, we would see them again in the D1 final. If Lincoln wins here, we'll see them next week against most likely Merced, though possibly Johansson. No question there. Cody Vaz now 11 of 16, 186, and has a touchdown. Mentioned Michaels, his 2nd catch for 36. Again, kind of a ho-hum first half, much like the first meeting this year. And there was a whistle. You know what? It was in the stands again. The officials are stopping it. And I heard that whistle earlier. That was in the stands. And Tyler Post is saying, hey, cut it out. I heard that earlier on the St. Mary's touchdown by Davis, and that's why Villarreal stopped. There was definitely a whistle in the stands, and that's why Villarreal stopped. And that's got to cut out. There's Tyler Post, and he was saying to the PA guy, hey, make an announcement. Tell him to stop. That is no good. There's a flag down because Villarreal stopped, I believe. But you got to have to pick that one up. But as I was saying, kind of a ho-hum first half in the first meeting when St. Mary's led 13-6. Here tonight, Lincoln leading 11-6. But then the last meeting on October the 3rd, in the second half, there were 4 straight touchdowns, 2 by each team. So here tonight, 1 each way. We'll see if we continue that trend here with 5:55 to go in the third. There's Villarreal. 18-13, Lincoln the lead, back to 5, which is what it was at the half. Jamal Campbell scoops it up near the 18. Campbell fighting for extra yardage. And Jordan Davis tosses him down across the 30 at the 32. Lincoln gets it for a second time here in the second half. They scored a touchdown or 8-yard reception by Hazelton. Lincoln playing in their 23rd playoff game in this decade, which is very impressive. Going to semifinals in 2000, 2001, and 2002, and 07, so 4 in the decade, and twice going on to the finals, winning in 2000. 13-4 here at Alex G. Spanos Stadium in the postseason in the decade. St. Mary's playing in their 18th playoff game in the last 7 years. The run of 9 straight playoff games by 9 straight playoff years by Lincoln, 5th best in the section. Here's a penalty. Dwayne Hebner with the call. Delay game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's the first penalty of the second half by either team. Make it 1st and 15. But there's no question at all. These have been the 2 best teams in the south half of the section in Division I. Merced probably would be next. But trying to break the deadlock, kind of each with 1 section title, each with the runner-up. 4 out of 5 semis for St. Mary's. They've been to 4 in the decade, just like Lincoln. A run that's not going anywhere. As Rural may lose yardage, Pinatani, Banks, everybody else there. Ball back to the 25. Loss of about 3. We'll say 2nd and 18. There's Banks and Pinatani. That interior of the defensive line, very good for Dave Tipton. And Pinatani, what a difference he's made at the nose. You consider St. Mary's, yeah, they've lost 2 games, but to 1-loss teams in Bellarmine and Central Catholic. So they're not far away from being almost an undefeated team or maybe a 1-loss team. Post going to run for it. Post. Close to a first down. Sanguinetti forces him out near the 40. It's going to be a 15-yard pickup by Post. Nothing was open downfield. And Sanguinetti did a great job to cut him off because it looked like Post was going to pick up the first down. We'll call it 3rd and 3. You see Sanguinetti working with that broken hands, got the cast out there. One of 3 Ram players playing with the cast. Third and 3. St. Mary's down 5. They'd love to get it back. Lincoln trying to pick up the first down. David Hazelton. First down and more. Hazelton at the 40. Fumbles. Ball's on the ground. It goes out of bounds, though. So Lincoln will keep as Hazelton gets across the 35 to the 32. A 29-yard run by David Hazelton. I think Harper got a piece of the ball to get it out of there. Yep. I'll probably see it pretty well from this angle, from up top. And you see Harper, he's pulling back the arms and swatting with the left hand to get it out of there. And unfortunately for St. Mary's, it bounces out. Really, Corbett was the next closest guy there. But Hazelton has the receiving touchdown there, a 29-yard run, his longest of the night. 1st and 10 at the 33 for Lincoln. Here goes Michael Spanos to work. Spanos to the 27. That's close to 6 on first down. He's had a couple of receptions here in the second half. Only 2 carries now. This is the second series of the half, and he's replaced by Rule again. Of course, both grandsons of Alex G. Spanos, the owner of the Chargers, namesake of this stadium, and so many others. Sac State, Cal Poly. Very generous man. There's Jim Rubiales looking on. And Lincoln's going to have to burn a timeout. They didn't have the right personnel. They were shuffling a player on and off, and they told him to go back on. So Lincoln's got to take a timeout. That could loom later in the game. Of course, teams don't like taking a third quarter timeout if they can help it. But Lincoln, 2nd and 4. They're on the move again. Don't want to mess things up. Brian Gray's in there talking with his offense. There's Jim Rubiales and also Tyler Post as well, all discussing things with the offensive guys. Give us a chance to take a look at Lincoln's record since 2000. You look at year by year what Lincoln's been able to do. They averaged 10 wins a season, do the Trojans. Of course, early in the decade, very good under Mike Johnson. 12 wins and a section title in 2000. That team just going into the Stockton Athletic Hall of Fame. Then Mike Byerly taking over, and he was just as good, 40-9 in his 3 years, taking Lincoln to the section final in 2002, losing in the rain to Jesuit. And you see a couple of second-round losses, 03-04. Second round in 03 was to St. Mary's. The semis last year losing to St. Mary's. And then here, still to be determined. St. Mary's, you look what they've done under Tony Franks over the last 7 years. They've been very successful as well. We'll try and sneak that in after this play. 2nd and 4 near the 27 for Lincoln. Philip Rule fights forward for decent yardage when Looked like he was going to go down for just a yard or so. Strong player, no question. Travis White, also John Saris there. And it looks like Rule's going to be just shy of the first down. There is what St. Mary's has done since Tony Franks has returned to his alma mater. You see to the playoffs 7 straight times. Champions in 04, that wild game against Nevada Union. The finals last year, losing to Napa by 2. But very impressive what these two superpowers have done in the decade. It is 3rd and less than a yard. From the 24. Rule met by White. And he's not going to get it. Might have even lost a half a yard. Shannon Clark in there and also Scott Copraviza. I think it may have been Copraviza there, number 15, who was the first man that got to Rule. And now it's going to be 4th and a full yard. The Rams were waiting, and Copraviza and White came through. Copraviza has played well here tonight. Did so the first time against Lincoln as well, when he had 7 tackles and an interception. Lincoln takes a timeout. That's going to leave them with 1. But it's 4th and 1, and they understand the importance of this play, do the Trojans. Leading by 5, trying to go up by 2 scores. This is the end of the play, and there is just nowhere for Rule to run. And you see at the bottom of the pile, it is, in fact, Scott Copraviza, who did a heck of a job, got help there from Travis White, again filling in for Sean McGowan. One of these teams is going to move on to the semifinals, making it the 8th time in 9 years either St. Mary's or Lincoln has been there. You know, you go back to the 90s, and it was the CCC always with teams going to the section finals. Now you look at the local teams, 6 out of the last 8 years, it's been a local team in the section final. Lincoln going twice, St. Mary's going twice. Edison was in there in 2003. West was also to the section final in 2005. The only time there wasn't a local team in the last 8 years, 06 when it was Vacaville and Merced, and 01 when it was Elk Grove and Fairfield. Here we go, 4th and 1 for Lincoln, leading by 5. The ball near the 25, just inside it. They have to get across the 24, does Lincoln. Balderrama's in the backfield. It's the full house backfield. There is some confusion. Now they get it, do the Trojans, as they're set to go on 4th and 1. Spanos fighting. I don't know. It's going to be close. I think he got it with the extra effort. He kept running, turning those legs, kind of going sideways, but I think he was also picking up a little bit at the time. Copraviza there, and you see Dwayne Hebner signal first down. I mean, initially right there, Spanos doesn't have it. And watch him go and fight and keep going. The will to win. And about there, he picks up the first down. He probably got 1.5 yards and needed 1. Good effort by Spanos, picking up the short yardage on his 14th carry. He's got to be tired. Everybody's got to be tired, but Lincoln doesn't have a lot of two-way players, nor does St. Mary's. And St. Mary's feels good about their conditioning with John McBride. I'm sure Lincoln does as well. Spanos taking it inside the 15. Doesn't look tired there. Gets to the 12. It'll be near another Lincoln first down. And we may see a heavy diet of Spanos the rest of this drive, with Lincoln leading by 5. May have a measurement here. Maybe a measurement, but Lincoln picked up the 4th and 1. And nope. It's a first down, says Dwayne Hebner. The officiating crews picked by a playoff committee, typically the best of the best. A lot of factors that go into being picked, but have the top crews working in the postseason. 1st and 10. Lincoln, the ball at the 12 of St. Mary's. They lead by 5. Spanos again, up the middle. Touchdown as he dives in. Michael Spanos from 12 yards out. That's his first touchdown of the night, and Lincoln's back up by 2 scores. And so Spanos has scored a touchdown in all 12 games this season, his 27th of the season, on carry number 16 for 174 yards. And he's got to stay in and hold. Spanos' second best rushing total of the year. He had 231 against Lodi, but he's not done here tonight. Post, it's a low snap again. How about the job Spanos has done on the holds? On the field goal and there on the PAT. Back to a 12-point game. And Erie, we've had 3 straight touchdowns here in the second half. 2 by Lincoln, that the second one from Spanos. The first matchup, there were 4 straight touchdowns to start the second half. Let's see if St. Mary's can make that happen again. And Spanos almost untouched. 2 straight times he took the handoff from post out of the shotgun. And there's Coach Rubiales. He's had a lot of superlatives. You see Spanos' name tags coming off the back of his jersey. He's touched the ball so many times. Last year, of course, Lincoln started with the spread offense, trying to throw the ball a lot. Spanos was really a receiver, didn't work very well. Went back to their wing tee last year, and Spanos became their main running back. Ran for 700 yards, but he wasn't the main guy. Also, it was kind of a shared situation with DeWitt Stuckey and Hazelton, Anthony Dials, and Alan Flemons. There's no question he's the guy this year with a little bit of Hazelton, a little bit of Gross running the ball. But Spanos now at 1,300 yards on the year and 27 touchdowns, approaching the seasons of Lewis Rankin, Tyrone Gross, and some of those guys. He's not quite there yet with the years those guys had as seniors, but he's not far behind. I mean, Rankin 41 as a senior, that's touchdowns. Hard to believe that. Gross had 34, and he went over 2,000. Both of them went over 2,000, but Spanos not far behind here. Lincoln up by 12. St. Mary's is behind. West returning from the 3. West is tackled by David Carmen on special teams at the 15-yard line. Well, here's the thing for St. Mary's. They look good on their first offensive possession, and for the most part, they've moved the ball all night long, but they haven't been able to stop Lincoln, especially here in the second half, as the Trojans have had it twice and have scored 2 touchdowns. A 68-yard drive for Lincoln on their last 9 plays. They took off nearly 4 full minutes. Vaz out of the gun, 3 receivers to the right. From the 15. Vaz, he's sacked for a 3rd time. It's Sterling Thomas. Thomas, the team leader in tackles. And number 2 in sacks, has his 7th of the season, 2nd against St. Mary's, a loss of 3. St. Mary's sacked Vaz for the first game, 3 here tonight. Jim Rubiales felt that was the key tonight, getting pressure on Cody Vaz. Now, St. Mary's, they scored 6 against Bellarmine, 28 against Lincoln, every other game 40 or more. Smith can't hold on. It was a good play by Forrest Coleman, who's been pretty good all night long for Lincoln. I should amend that statement. 25 in the loss to Central as well for St. Mary's. So their loss is 6 against Bellarmine, points scored, 25 against Central. The only win where they didn't score 40 or more, 28 against Lincoln. A little ominous that they're stuck here at 13. And it's 3rd and 13 from the 12, their own. Vaz down the field to Lekic. It's intercepted. Alfred Gross. Huge play. 3rd turnover in the game by St. Mary's. The ball at the 32. Just the 8th interception thrown this year by Vaz. Fine play by Gross. His first interception of the season, but he's played well at corner all year long. And as I said, Vaz's 8th interception, but 5 of the previous 7 came in losses. 3 against Bellarmine and 2 against Central. I think we just had a sideline warning against Lincoln. And a flag may have been thrown. Usually it's a warning, but I think I saw one of the officials say that was the 2nd time. Let's see. Nope, just going to be a warning. So the ball's at the 32. 3rd turnover by St. Mary's. They've only led to 3 Lincoln points the first 2. Let's see what Lincoln can do here. Up by 12 points. Would be a backbreaker maybe if they can get a touchdown on this drive. Here comes some more Michael Spanos. Spanos continues to run hard and get to the 25 as he picks up 7. 17th carry for Spanos now for 181 yards, approaching the 200-yard mark. Most carries he's had in a game this year, 20 against Franklin of Elk Grove. That's because Lincoln has blown so many teams out this year, winning their games on average 43-12. Lincoln has won 7 in a row. Third straight year they've won 7 in a row. The 2 previous, they didn't get that 8th win in a row, trying to do so here tonight. 2nd and 3. Post hooks up with Corbin. Tackled almost immediately, but I think it's going to be enough for a first down. Corbin's such a big target. That's his 3rd reception. Forward progress will be a first down on a 5-yard pass play. And Copperviza a little slow to get up. So 3 catches for 42 for Corbin. Now the last drive for Lincoln, when they went 68 yards, they did not throw a pass. Their opening drive when they scored the touchdown, 4 of the 5 were passes. Post now 7 of 17, but he's 5 for 5 here in the second half. It's been very good, and threw a touchdown to Hazleton. Down to 10 seconds. Let's see if Lincoln snaps it before the end of the third. They do. Spanos makes something out of nothing. Gets to the 15 and picks up 5, and we head to the 4th. Lincoln on the doorstep. They're knocking with the chance maybe to put this one away. They lead by 12. 25-13 Trojans. They'll have it 2nd and 5 when we start the 4th. Next here on Comcast SJTV Sports.
Watch the Comcast SJTV Sports High School Football Game of the Week, Friday nights at 10:30 and throughout the weekend on Comcast Cable Channel 26, as Comcast SJTV Sports brings you coverage of all the local TCAL, SJAA, and BOL teams all season long. Join us for the ride to the section championship. Watch Comcast SJTV Channel 26 all weekend long for local high school football, starting on Friday nights at 10:30.
Lincoln has won 7 games in a row. They lead 25-13 here over St. Mary's, as we head to the 4th. Trojans trying to break a 4-game losing streak to the Rams. St. Mary's has won 6 out of 7 against Lincoln. St. Mary's has won 6 games in a row. If Lincoln wins, no matter who wins between Merced and Johansson, they would be home. Merced and Lincoln would both have 1 loss, but it's predetermined which league is home if teams have the same overall record and mark in conference, meaning Lincoln and Merced were both champions, and both would have 1 loss. It's predetermined this year, the SJA home versus the CCC. 2nd and 5 as we start the 4th. Phillip Rule in there, he'll carry. Looks like he'll be about a yard short following the left guard, Wilson Tamabongsa. Lincoln's had some shuffling on their own line. Originally, Jesse Aurora was a starter on the line at right guard, moved to defense. Keith Chittafong became a starter over at left tackle. Bruce Hahn moved from left tackle to right tackle where he played last year. He and Enos, the returning starters. And Michael Byerly, the sophomore, moved from right tackle to right guard. Of course, his father, Mike, head coach from 02 to 05 here at Lincoln. 3rd and a yard for Lincoln, leading by 12. Spanos and Hazleton in the backfield. It's Hazleton, and he's met and will not get it. That's Josh Banks. Big-time play there by the preseason all-section performer. According to Cal High Sports, Banks comes through. That's even a loss of a yard. It's 4th and 2 now. Rashawn Warren coming in, and I think Lincoln's going to try the field goal to try and put it to a 15-point game where basically 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion will only tie it. And I think this is definitely the right move here because currently 2 touchdowns beat you. 2 touchdowns and just 1 extra point beat you. This is a 30-yard try. Again, a bad snap. Spanos gets it down on the hole, but it is no good. So the snaps haven't been great back to Spanos. He got it down, but Post misses from 30, and that's huge. St. Mary's, no question, they are still in the mix with 10.5 minutes to go. Down by 12, 2 touchdowns right now, and 1 point after wins it. So Post, who made the 40-yarder in the first half, misses there from 30. St. Mary's gets it back again. They don't have to panic. Plenty of time. Had the field goal gone in, they would have put a lot of pressure on them because they would have had to get 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion at some point. Look at the run here. It's Howes. Across midfield, Maurice Howes. Finally forced out of bounds at the 43. That's a 37-yard run, exactly what St. Mary's needed. Huge play from Howes. He goes over 100, up to 131 yards, as he just had a quick burst and then broke a tackle there. Third time Howes has gone over 100. He had 229 and 2 scores against McNair. Look at him switch the hand there of the ball. Got a little more speed out of it as well. At the 43, 1st and 10. Lekic fighting forward. He'll be near a first down at the 33. Lekic, his 7th catch, matching the total of a week ago. And it looks like it's going to be a yard shot. No, wait, let's see. Now time called, you see, by Dwayne Hebner. He's saying first down. Yep, first down. It'll move the chains. 12 for 19 for Vaz, 196 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. There's Lekic. 1st and 10 as we're about to hit 10 minutes to go in the 4th. Howes trying to sneak through the line there. Brought down by McMiller. To the 27, that's 5 for Maurice Howes, who's almost gone exclusively in the backfield. Seen Ray Guyton a few times. 136 yards for Howes. St. Mary's trying to overcome 3 turnovers, but they've only led to 3 Lincoln points. That's the key. 12-point game here. Vaz hooks up with Chaz Smith. Smith turns it inside. Coleman the tackler, but not before Smith gets to the 16. That's an 11-yard pass play. And look how quick St. Mary's is moving it down the field. For Smith, his 2nd catch, remember he had the acrobatic 37-yarder in the first half. 207 yards passing now for Vaz. Howes, slippery there to the 12. Washington, the tackler. About 4 yards, 2nd and 6. And St. Mary's, sensing they have Lincoln on their heels a little bit defensively, they're going pretty quick between plays. Under 9 minutes to go, but this drive's only taken about 1:40 so far for St. Mary's. Trailing by 12. Vaz looking over to Lekic. He catches it, and I think he was interfered with. And he's also a little dinged up. On the ground, that's Lekic, who's been phenomenal in this game. A bit shaken up, but he's going to walk off under his own power. I'm sure this will be pass interference. The ball looks like it's going to be spotted about the 3.
Pass interference here.
It is against Lincoln. 8-yard pass play. Lekic's 8th reception now for 99 yards. Gives him 49 on the year, and that's a season high. He had 7 last week. That's 15 receptions in the last 2 weeks. And that was a difficult catch. Defender was all over him. So much so that it was interference. Watch it again. Man, that's a nice catch. And then the flag hits him. That's insult to injury, I guess. Of course, the penalties declined. Would have been a half the distance situation, and you take the pass play. And so it's 1st and goal. 1st and goal for St. Mary's at the 3. That jumbo package with Jordan Davis as the deep back. Let's see if they toss to him. The Rams do. Davis. Touchdown! Touchdown, Jordan Davis, his 2nd of the game, his 11th in the last 6. He is automatic in short yardage situations. That one from 3 yards out, his earlier touchdown from 4. And St. Mary's moves it down the field in a hurry. In 2 minutes and 2 seconds, you see Tony Franks, he likes that. And Villarreal for the point after to try and make it a 5-point game. 25-19 right now. 7 plays, St. Mary's 80 yards. A 37-yard run by Howes, and there's the 3-yard touchdown by Davis out of that jumbo package. Almost a block by Gross, and the PAT is missed. Villarreal has missed a field goal, and that's the first PAT he has missed all season long. So it's a 6-point game. Here's the touchdown. And that's exactly what St. Mary's does when they get in tight. They go to that jumbo package, put an O-lineman in the backfield. They toss it back, and it was Stephen Patterson there along with Nick Alonzo in the backfield blocking for Davis. There's the touchdown, but it's a 6-point game. Situation now where if St. Mary's scores a touchdown, assuming they were to hold Lincoln and it remains a 6-point game, they'd need the PAT to win. So Villarreal maybe in actuality put more pressure on himself down the road if it gets to that point. Lincoln here, of course, wants to take time off, but with 8:33 to go, they're going to need more points probably to win this game. The other thing that PAT missing does is if Lincoln gets a field goal, they'd go up by 9 where a touchdown and 2-point conversion couldn't tie it. So a lot of things happening there. Still a long way to go on this one. Earlier matchup this year was a 28-22 St. Mary's win. The matchup last year in the semifinals, a 24-21 St. Mary's win. No shock, this one is tight right here. Lincoln is led by 12 on a couple of occasions. Right now it's 6. Both teams have missed a field goal. St. Mary's missed a PAT and didn't get a 2-point try. The return by Jamal Campbell at the 11 for Lincoln. Campbell only gets the 20 or maybe the 21, and now St. Mary's has some momentum, and you see it from the way their players react. That was, of course, a must-score drive there for the Rams after the missed field goal, and they moved it down in less than 2 minutes. That was very impressive. 12th matchup of the decade between these two. St. Mary's leading 6-5. No question the two best teams in the south half of the section Division I, and you could maybe argue in Division I, maybe the two best teams of the decade. Elk Grove, I think, would have an argument, probably Nevada Union as well. But these teams are right there with the best in Division I, now with Grant and Granite Bay and others in Division II, Central in D5. Spanos, tough for him to get started there, had a little bit of a stumble as he took the handoff. Bumped down about the 24. About a 3-yard gain, we'll say, 2nd and 7. On the 19th carry for Michael Spanos, 189 yards. The next one will match his season high in carries. At some point on this series, Lincoln's probably going to have to throw it. Post hasn't missed in the second half. 5 for 5. It is Spanos again, though. Not much doing there, maybe a yard. Well played defensively by St. Mary's. Banks again, who has really stepped up here all game long for that matter, all season long. Last year he was a defensive end, moved to the interior this year. Don't forget he's playing on offense as well. 3rd and 6. Spanos in a 3rd down situation. They're going to keep him in there. His 20th carry, that last one now 190 yards. Chance of defense from the St. Mary's side of the field. Nearing 7 minutes to go here at Spanos Stadium. Lincoln by 6, but that lead is precarious right now. 2 receivers to each side for Post. In some trouble. Looking down the field to Corbin. It's intercepted by Harper. Josh Harper picks it off at the 35. His 5th interception of the year. He had 2 the first time against Lincoln. A big-time play as he stepped in front of Corbin. And he slides for the interception. Harper has only had 1 reception in the game, but he comes up on defense again. There was great pressure applied by John Sanguinetti. And then there's Harper coming through with the play of the game to this point. First turnover by Lincoln. Ball's at the 34. Of Lincoln for St. Mary's, down 6. Maurice House, brought down by the combination of Thomas and Torres. 3 yards there. Under 7 minutes to go here in the 4th. A 6-point game. The Rams have come back to life, but again, when they were just down 12, you knew they still had a chance. They've cut it to 6 and have possession after the pick by Harper. Vaz has some time. Now he goes down. Damian McMiller, the 4th sack of the game for Lincoln. That's a sack and a half for McMiller. Now 8 on the year for the outstanding senior defensive end. Gigantic play there. Loss of 4. It's 3rd and 11. 3rd and 11 for St. Mary's. You see there was an open receiver, but Vaz couldn't get it away. 3rd and 11 as we hit 6 minutes to go. 2 receivers to each side. Over the middle, Lekic again. No, he can't hold on to it. Forrest Coleman comes through as he applies the hit. It would have been short of the first down as well. And so if you're St. Mary's, it's now 4th and 11. The line of scrimmage about the 35. They have to get to the 24, do the Rams to pick up the first down. 5:53 to go. You're certainly not going to try a field goal here, and you're not going to punt. The Rams to go for it. 4th and 11 from the 35, down by 6. Everybody's up. Vaz looking deep. There's a flag. It's going to be interference, you would think. Forrest Coleman in coverage. Smith, the intended receiver, and Dwayne Hebner will give us the call. Looked like there was some contact.
Pass interference here.
And that's going to be a first down. Lincoln fans don't like it, but I think it was the right call. You're going to see the tail end of it. Yep, there was a bit of a bump. It was a little underthrown. I think that's part of the reason why Coleman bumped Smith there. And sometimes that's what you have to do is just throw it up and see what happens. And you see, yep, Coleman was riding him a little bit. So the pass interference on 4th and 11 looms large. St. Mary's now to the 20 where they'll have it 1st and 10. 5:43 to play. And a whistle here by Dwayne Hebner. I'm not sure if they're going to put some time back on or what's going on. Yep, they're going to add some time. There's Cody Vaz, has thrown a touchdown and an interception. Over 200 yards passing again. Coming off a 338-yard performance last week. He's had 3 300-yard games this season. 2 against Los Banos, 1 against Tokay. 1st and 10. Maurice Howes sneaks through. Nice gain on first down, covered by Torres. 7 yards, and there's a Trojan down. It's Lagarbo, the defensive lineman for Lincoln. Maurice Howes gets 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 3. Nice gain for him. Howes has been very good. 18 carries for 150. He and Spanos dueling, running the ball. 2nd and 3 upcoming. Again, if St. Mary's scores here and gets the point after, they would go up by 1. Lincoln presumably would have some time left, as there's 5:36 showing, and St. Mary's already down to the 13. Let's look at the playoff brackets in Division I here in the South. We've already told you certainly the winner of this game plays the winner of Johansen and Merced. If St. Mary's wins, they would most likely go to Merced next week. Johansen could pull the upset. If Lincoln wins, they'll be home against either Merced or Johansen. You see how the brackets have gone. Lincoln and St. Mary's almost winning by identical scores last week, playing here tonight. And at the bottom, Johansen beating McNair, the first win for a Modesto City school since 2000 in the playoffs, other than a forfeit. And Merced got all they can handle from Tracy. You see Lagarbo being helped off now. Lincoln does have some nice depth on that D line. The Trojans have won 7 in a row, 17 out of 19. Those 2 losses to St. Mary's. There was a forfeit win in there to Franklin in a game they lost on the field, but 17 of 19, 2 losses to St. Mary's. St. Mary's has won 21 of 24, and 2 of those losses have been by 2 points to Central this year and Napa last year in the D1 final. 2nd and 3 for the Rams at the 13 of Lincoln, trailing by 6 here in round 2 of the playoffs. Joshua Harper in motion. He'll take the handoff. Harper First down. Nice little hesitation move. As Harper looks like he'll get about the 7, maybe even the 6, and it'll be 1st and goal. It'll be the 7, a 6-yard run for Harper. He's had a couple of carries, only 1 reception, but that interception moments ago looming large here as he set up the Rams. 1st and goal now at the 7, trying to take the lead. St. Mary's has not led in this game, trailing by as much as 12 on 2 occasions. Howes tripped up, maybe falls to the 5. Hector Balderrama, the nose guard, the man who got a piece of Howes. On Maurice Howes' 19th carry, just a junior. St. Mary's 5 seniors, 5 juniors, and 1 sophomore. It's Michaels on offense. 2nd and goal at about the 5 now. There's Howes. 3 receivers bunched together on the left-hand side for the Rams, and Bass takes the timeout. The first used by St. Mary's, leaves them with 2. Remember, Lincoln had to burn a couple in the 3rd quarter. They only have 1 left. That could be a big factor if they're trying to come from behind, if St. Mary's is able to score here. So it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 5. 2 heavyweights going at it here on what you could almost term the city championship. The next week would be the South championship or the semifinal, and then after that, the section championship. St. Mary's, not only do they have section final aspirations, but maybe state bowl game aspirations. Last year, had they beaten Napa in that section final, they probably would have gone to the medium school state championship game. This year, they're number 3 right now in the D2 bowl rankings, according to Cal High Sports, behind unbeaten Casa Roble, who will probably win their section championship, and Valley Christian, who still has a tough way to get through their section final. And if Casa Roble goes undefeated and win their section title, Mark Tennis said he still thinks potentially St. Mary's with a win here tonight, maybe a win at Merced and a win in the section final, could play for a state championship. So a lot on the line for the Rams. Their loss is to Bellarmine, who's ranked 4th in the North Division I in the state bowl rankings, and Central Catholic, who's 2nd in Division III. So it tells you who they've lost to. 2 teams with 1 loss this season. 2nd and goal from the 5. Rams down by 6. Maurice Howes hit in the backfield by Philip Rule. Rule, who's had a fine game all night long, got some help from McMiller as well. Rule, the 3rd leading tackler for Lincoln, had 11 this year against Tracy. A sack and a pick against Bear Creek. The ball back to the 7. 3rd and goal from there. Of course, this is going to be 4-down territory for the Rams. Third and goal at the 7. Bass throwing over the middle. Smith, does he hold it? No signal yet. Now there is. Touchdown. It's tied. What a catch there. It's Chaz Smith with defenders draped all over him. Fired in there by Bass from 7 yards out. His 2nd passing touchdown. Chaz Smith comes through with his 4th touchdown reception of the year. And it's tied at 25 with 4:14 to go. The officials had to wait as they got the bodies of defenders off of Smith to make sure he held on to it, but he cradled it in. 3rd catch of the game for Smith. And here's Villarreal. He's missed a point after and a field goal after going 21 of 21 entering tonight for the lead. It was a bad snap, and the kick is no good. My goodness. And it was McDade who was holding. Usually it's Chaz Smith, but I'm not sure why that is. So Villarreal, who was 21 of 21 coming in, has missed back-to-back PATs, and it's 25-25. Are you serious? Wow. Yeah, shocker that Lincoln and St. Mary's are tied with 4 minutes to go, right? Here's the touchdown, though. This was a thing of beauty. Vaz over the middle, and look at Smith. Gets drilled by Torres, still holds on, and maybe that's why he had to come out, because he took the shot. Normally he holds, and I'm not necessarily saying it was a bad hold, that the snap wasn't the greatest, and the PAT was missed. Sometimes it's just the timing with the holder and what you're used to. Look at the reaction there from Alex Michaels. This is good stuff. So St. Mary's has missed 2 PATs and a 2-point conversion. And in 2 of their last 3 losses, that's been the issue, missing PATs and then chasing points against Napa last year and Central. But they're tied here, not behind, as they've scored on their last 2 drives. 4:14 to go, 25-25. And if somebody doesn't score in regulation, we might be staring overtime in the face. Just past 10 o'clock. Villarreal, that might be heading out of bounds. No, it stays in bounds. Rule has to pick it up, and he's kind of cornered in there. Able to get it to the 29. Nice kick by Villarreal. Luckily for him, it took a short bounce and didn't go out of bounds. So 4:10 to go. And there's a lot of ways to look at it. Lincoln, of course, wants points here to try and win the game. But if they don't do much and turn it back over to St. Mary's, they may be on defense trying to save the game. But, of course, I think you have to be aggressive. You don't want to just go conservative and hope for overtime or anything like that. You have possession. See what you can do with it. 4:10 to go. Lincoln only 1 timeout, but time right now not a factor. Post. Floats it for Spanos, and it's over his head. Got a hand on it, but it falls incomplete. And so Post, after completing his first 5 of the second half, has gone interception and completion on his last 2. So the pick by Harper leads to a St. Mary's touchdown. The turnovers are 3-1 in favor of Lincoln, but Lincoln's only converted those 3 turnovers into 3 points, while St. Mary's just converted the turnover into a touchdown. 2nd and 10 at the 29. 1 second went off the clock. Spanos. Here goes Michael Spanos. He may be gone. Harper the only man who can catch him. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Michael Spanos. 71 yards. Wow. Spanos' second touchdown of the game. He goes 71. On his 21st carry, the most he's had in a game this season, 261 yards, and now he has scored 2 or more touchdowns in 11 of 12 games for Lincoln. That was a phenomenal run. I thought Harper would catch him. He had the angle. He got to him at the 10. He tried for the strip, which isn't a bad move there. Spanos still held onto the ball and stayed in bounds. And now Post to try and make it a 7-point lead. He's made his PATs but did miss a field goal. And it's rolled back to Spanos. And he's brought down and is picked up by St. Mary's. Now the officials are saying it's down. And so it's down. But it's a 6-point game. The kicking game on both sides have been disastrous. Really, it's been a lot of the snaps. And it was rolled back to Spanos. There was nothing he could do. So we're back to a situation where if St. Mary's scores a touchdown and gets the point after, they could win. 3:59 to play in regulation. Here's the touchdown run. I mean, Spanos, you're thinking, okay, 10, 12 yards, and then right there you figure he has a chance. Coming from the right-hand side is Harper at the tail end of it, and he's going to try and go for the strip. At that point, that's about all he can do. But Spanos showing some speed as well in there. He's got his nameplate flopping around. And he sees Harper, and he covers up a little bit right there and then able to stay in and score. Look at the reaction from him. Big plays on each side by big-time players. That took 11 seconds. 2 plays for Lincoln to score the touchdown, an incompletion. And the run by Spanos. Fourth TD of the game for Lincoln. They also have a field goal and have converted a 2-point conversion. Shorter kick by Post. It stays in bounds. That ball's live. Wow. I don't know how that didn't go out of bounds. Harper saves the day by covering it at the 14. And so with 3:57 to go, 31-25 Lincoln, but it's just a 6-point game. A touchdown and a point after wins it. St. Mary's 2 timeouts to go. They're going to have to travel 86 yards, but they are certainly capable as they have scored on their last 2 drives, coming from behind twice, down by 12. They have not led. They just tied it up, though. Vaz floating it, looking to Smith, incomplete. It was almost picked off. Dangerous pass there. Alfred Gross came over and made a play on that ball and almost picked it off. He already has 1 in the contest. Smith, who just had the touchdown for St. Mary's, was the intended receiver. (15 for 24, 272, 2 touchdowns and interception for Cody Vaz. 2nd and 10. Lekic trying to break the tackle. Pretty good one by Coleman, but it's about a 9-yard pickup for Louis Lekic, who continues his stellar night. And Lekic, he's slow to get up again. That's the second time that's occurred. Maybe some cramps. Yep, some cramps there by Lekic, fighting forward. Coleman, a pretty good tackle. It's going to be about a yard shy, maybe even a yard and a half. Lekic, his 9th reception for 108 yards. Vaz, 16 of 25, 281. 344. To play in regulation. It is a 6-point game, but the way PATs have been going, even if St. Mary's scores, that's not a certainty that they'll make the PAT and win. Similar game for St. Mary's against Central Catholic. Both teams had 4 touchdowns, but the Rams lost 27-25. 3rd and a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Jumbo package for St. Mary's. That means they toss it to Davis, and here he goes! Davis, midfield, 40, Dowd. Catches up to him at the 27. That's a 50-yard run by Jordan Davis. In a situation where St. Mary's is hoping he just gets a yard or 2 and picks up the first down, he almost breaks it the whole way. Davis already with 2 touchdowns. And right there, you know it's trouble for Lincoln with Davis in the burst. Dowd, the safety, the man who saved the touchdown, and he's running down a fullback. Able to get to Davis at the 27, but St. Mary's, in 3 plays, they're already in business. 50-yard run by Jordan Davis. He'll take it again on that toss. Not much doing. Sterling Thomas in there again. He's had a fine night on defense. The ball to the 24. That's a 3-yard run. And a situation where I'm sure St. Mary's thinking in the back of their mind, of course they want to score and take the lead with the made PAT, but they're not so sure about giving it back to Lincoln with a lot of time on the clock with the way this game has gone. Clock moving under 3 minutes now. Vaz to Harper. Breaks 1 tackle. Josh Harper near the 10. He'll be at about the 12. A 12-yard pickup for Harper. And again, a situation where St. Mary's might score too quickly. What a second half this has been after it was 11-6 Lincoln at the break. St. Mary's on the verge of scoring 3 straight touchdowns here in the 4th. Vaz on the verge of 300 yards. From the 12, 1st and 10. Looking to the end zone. Harper, touchdown! We're tied again, 12 yards out. Back-to-back 12-yard receptions by Josh Harper. His 13th touchdown of the year, 10th receiving. And Vaz has thrown his third of the game. Fourth time he's thrown 3 in a game this year, and he's had 2 games of 4. 31-31. And let's see. It's going to be Lekic to kick the PAT. Louis Lekic, not Villarreal, who has missed the last 2. Lekic, 18 of 21 on PATs. As I said earlier, 3 different guys have kicked PATs this year. Still 2:42 to go, so Lincoln would have a chance even if the PAT is good. Lekic comes out. Smith the hold. Good snap. Hold down. It's good. 32-31. St. Mary's as they take their first lead of the game. And look at the Ram fans as they've come all the way back from 12 down on a couple of occasions. And Vaz had the time. He finds his man Harper, who has had the interception here in the 4th. And there he has the touchdown of 12 yards, 32-31. It was a 3-point St. Mary's win last year in the semifinals, a 6-point St. Mary's win this year in the regular season, and right now a 1-point St. Mary's lead with 2:42 to go. So Coach Franks makes the move. He puts in Louis Lekic, who's been great as a receiver tonight. Lekic makes the PAT. St. Mary's, their 5th touchdown of the game. Vaz has thrown 3, and they lead 32-31. And Vaz, 18 of 27, 305, goes over 300 for the 4th time this year. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he's thrown for 180 of that here in the second half. And all 3 touchdowns in the second half. In fact, 2 touchdowns here in the 4th, and St. Mary's has scored on 3 straight possessions. 1-point lead for the Rams with 2:42 to go. Villarreal kicking off. Campbell returning from the 22. He'll get to the 25. Make that the 30. So the ball at the 30. Here's the situation, though. Obviously, Lincoln doesn't need a touchdown to win, and Post has already made a 40-yard field goal. But the Trojans only have 1 timeout left, so they can go with Spanos on the ground a little bit, but they're going to have to get in and out of the huddle or not huddle at all here in this situation. Ball at the 30. They'd probably need to get around the 20-yard line to give Post a good shot. That would be about a 37-yarder, meaning they have about 50 yards to go in 2:37. Post looking to throw. Throwing deep. Looking to Cooks. And it's swatted away by Joshua Harper. Harper coming up with big plays here in the 4th quarter. The interception that led to a touchdown. The touchdown just moments ago. And there he saves a big pass play from going into the hands of Brandon Cooks. Playing like a guy whose father played in the NFL for 10 years. Certainly learned a thing or two from his dad, Willie. Played with the Niners from 73 to 83. Won a Super Bowl with San Francisco. And so Harper, the 2-year starter, now as a junior, trying to get the Rams to the semifinals again. 2nd and 10. 4 receivers for Lincoln. Cooks almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Austin Joshua. Remember, he has the broken left hand. He's wearing a cast. I'm guessing if he doesn't have a cast, he probably picks it. So it goes incomplete. And now it is 3rd and 10. You see Joshua, hard to blame a guy who only has 1 arm. Broken in practice, kind of a freak situation, just a regular old tackling drill. Joshua has picked off 2 this year. 1 against Jesuit for a touchdown and 1 against West. 3rd and 10, and I don't think Lincoln will be punting if they don't pick it up here. Chances are they wouldn't be able to get it back with only 1 timeout left. St. Mary's by a point, 32-31, coming back from 12 down. 3rd and 10 for the Trojans. Post to Corbett. He holds it. 1st down. Corbett up to the 46 of St. Mary's. That's a 24-yard play as Corbett comes up big again. His 4th catch for 66 yards. Still plenty of time for Lincoln, 2:24, and Corbett's such a big target. He took a vicious hit after he caught it, but he holds on and moves the chains. Wow, this game has lived up to the hype and then some. It's exceeded it. A second-round playoff game. Too bad this wasn't a section final. Of course, that can't happen with 2 teams in the South half, but it's been good. Spanos going to work. He gets to about the 36. That's very close to another first down. Up to 270 yards for Michael Spanos. And 2 touchdowns. Again, a field goal wins it for Lincoln, but they only have 1 timeout left. Here's an official's timeout. We're going to have a measurement. It'll be that close. Still plenty of time for Lincoln. Almost a situation I just talked about it. St. Mary's almost scored too quick, but that's kind of their MO. Lincoln's got to be careful to not score too quick here, but of course, situation where you can't think about that. You just got to put points on the board. Here comes the measurement. That's short, says Dwayne Hebner. Less than a half a yard. Inches? Nose of the football, maybe? So it was about 9.5 on that run for Spanos. 2:06 to go, and Lincoln not in a bad situation here. They can still run the ball. They have 1 timeout left. Probably want to keep that in their back pocket, so if they have to set up for a field goal, they don't have to rush the team on. But, of course, the kicking games have been a bit of an adventure for them as well, missing a field goal and a PAT. Not really post-fall, but there's been some issues with the snaps. 2nd and inches. Ball at about the 36. They're resetting the chains. That's what the delay is for. And now the clock is wound. Spanos, I don't think he got it. Banks and others pushing him back. The forward progress, maybe. The officials look like they're giving Spanos a pretty nice spot. Maybe another measurement. We'll see. No, first down, says Dwayne Hebner. I didn't think Spanos got it. But again, it was inches away. It's almost a situation where if you move the ball at all, it's a first down. The Ram fans across the way don't like it. But as I said, it was just inches away. Clock still moving now after the chains are reset. 1st and 10 for Lincoln. New set of downs from the 36 still. Down by a point. Spanos had broken free, but the pass a little long. Goes incomplete. Stops the clock, though. Gives Lincoln a chance to huddle up and regroup. With the ball at the 36, really a situation where they only have to pick up 15 to 20 yards again to put Post in a decent situation to make the field goal and give Lincoln the win as they trail by a point. 32-31 St. Mary's, 1:43 to play. Clock not yet a factor. Philip Rule comes into the huddle. Spanos is out right here on 2nd and 10. Lincoln's going to reset their alignment. Bad snap. It's kicked by Post. Now he'll cover it. That's all he can do. But a loss all the way back to the 47 of about 11. It almost looked like it hit the leg of Enos as he tried to snap it. And a disaster there for Lincoln. It's going to be 3rd and 20. 3rd and 20. Lincoln looked like they're in great shape. Now they're in a little bit of trouble. 3rd and 20, back at the 46. They're going to have to go to the air, you would think. St. Mary's making all kinds of noise across the field. Lincoln making some noise too. 1:10 to play. Rams by a point. 3rd and 20. Post! Down! Malou Penatoni! His 2nd sack. Penatoni, who wasn't with the Rams the first time around, and Lincoln has to take their final timeout, and they are facing 4th down and 28. A bad snap and then a sack and disaster for Lincoln. 4th and 28. Lincoln also out of timeouts now. This is the game, quite frankly. If Lincoln doesn't convert, St. Mary's can take a knee twice and put this one in the books and pull off the impressive come-from-behind victory. If Lincoln can pick up the first down and get the 28 yards, they'd almost be in field goal range right there. 1 minute precisely. Lincoln looked like they were in great shape on this drive. Then the bad snap and the sack. 4th and 28. With the ball back at the 47. Fourth down and 28 for Lincoln. Back at their own 47. 4th and 28 at the 47. Post. Throwing down the field, looking to Corbett. That might be interference. A flag is thrown. Post stepped up. There's 2 flags now, and I think it's going to be interference. Post was also very close to being across the line of scrimmage as well, as he had to step up. We'll get the call here from Dwayne Hebner. There's 2 flags on the field, but they're both in the same area. They both presumably are for pass interference. The line of scrimmage was the 47. Here's the call. It is pass interference on 4th and 28, and that's a first down. Here's the call.
Pass interference. Defense results in an automatic first down.
Yep. It doesn't matter that it's a 15-yard penalty and Lincoln needed 28. It's automatic first. And somehow Lincoln stays alive. Post stepped up. He was under pressure. He was going to try and run and then figured there was no way he was going to get 28. Had to throw it. Again, he was very close to the line of scrimmage, but got it away, and then Corbett definitely was interfered with. 1st and 10, Lincoln. The ball up to the 38 of St. Mary's. Remember, Lincoln out of timeouts. A field goal could win it, but they may have to rush the field goal team onto the field. 53 seconds to go as we near 10:30 here in a barn burner. Hazelton in the backfield with Post. Post looking to Cooks, and he's hammered. It's Austin Joshua, and a lot of time would have run off the clock even if Cooks had made that catch. It's probably not the worst thing in the world that it wasn't completed for the Trojans, although I'm sure that doesn't feel that way for Brandon Cooks. He was leveled by Joshua. Wow, good night. Watch it one more time. Joshua drops the hammer. Looks like the clock is going to be changed. Right now it's at 45. They just pushed it back up to 47. So Lincoln gained about 2 seconds back there. Every second counts in this situation. St. Mary's leading by a point. 2nd and 10 for Lincoln at the 38. A run by Spanos. A lot of time's going to run off the clock. Lincoln's got to hurry here. Just a 2-yard gain, 3rd and 8. But look at the time. 3rd and 8. And you can't spike it. It'll create a 4th down. Down to 31 seconds. Look at Lincoln. All kinds of confusion now. Post going under center. 25 seconds, and they spike it. It's 4th down. And maybe another second came off the clock, 22.7. And see, Lincoln used those 2 timeouts in the 3rd quarter, and that's really coming back to hurt them. If you're going to spike it, you have to be under center. That's what Coach Rubiales was saying, I believe, to get Post underneath there. You can't spike it out of the shotgun. But at the same time, maybe 10 seconds or more went off the clock as Lincoln tried to get in the right alignment. So it's 4th down. Of course, a field goal from here, you're looking at 52, 53. I think Post could make it, but I don't know if they're going to try it. We'll see. But it's going to be 4th and 8 with the ball at the 36, but only 22.7 to go. Lincoln will have to get the first down and then run to the line and spike it if they pick it up. Here we go again on 4th down. Last time Lincoln picked it up on pass interference. And I think Lincoln's going to try the field goal. Remember, Post made one from 40 that looked like it would be good from 50 or beyond. And Lincoln is going to, no, let's see. Are they going to try the field goal? They changed a lot of guys in and out. Some confusion again for the Trojans on the field. No, they're going to go for it offensively. All kinds of confusion. 3 receivers to the right. 4th and 8. And whistles by the official. And Post had the tee. He threw it off the field. It's a penalty. Delay a game. And so it's 4th and 13. And utter chaos for the Trojans there. They were going to kick it, then they weren't. Post threw off the tee. Now,
delay a game. Offense, still 4th down.
You wouldn't even consider the field goal. I mean, it'd be 57, 58. It's going to be 4th and about 13, maybe 12. But we'll say 4th and 13. And they're adding time again. Yeah, 24 seconds to go. Comes down to this, though. 4th and 13 for Lincoln at about the 42. St. Mary's trying to call a timeout. Tony Frank's running down the sideline, and he calls the timeout. That leaves St. Mary's with 1. And Coach Franks wanted to see what Lincoln was going to do there. It was a mad dash for him down the sideline to call the timeout. And he wants to make sure his guys are ready defensively for what Lincoln's going to throw at him. So Lincoln looked like they were on the move here in this final drive for, at worst, a field goal try. Then they had a bad snap and a sack, put them in a 4th and 28 situation, but they picked up a pass interference to keep the drive going. Then they were an okay spot, moving the ball down the field. Spanos, though, had a run. A lot of time went off the clock. There was confusion whether they were going to spike it or not. Time went off there, and then they just had to delay a game as they weren't sure if they were going to try a long field goal of about 51 or actually take the play. And quite honestly, the delay of game may have not been the worst thing in the world because it gave them a chance to calm down without the benefit of a timeout. But still, 4th and 13 is going to be a chore here. Line of scrimmage is about the 41. They have to get near the 28, do the Trojans, to keep this game going. Trailing by 1. They led 11-6 at the half, and twice they led by 12 here in the second half. St. Mary's, though, 3 straight touchdown scoring possessions. Lekic in at safety. He's all the way back near the 25. Here we go. Post. Floating it down the field. It's Lekic picking it off, and he should fall down. He does at the 10, and the Rams are going to come from behind and win. 18 seconds to go. Lekic picks it off, and a desperation heave from Rob Post in a game that for about 3/4 of it looked like Lincoln was going to advance. They will now lose for a 5th time in a row to St. Mary's, and 7 out of 8. The Rams hung with it, overcame missed PATs and field goals, and they get 3 straight touchdown scoring drives. Cody Vaz, 3 touchdowns in the game, all in the second half. Harper, the big touchdown to tie things up, and then Lekic got the PAT, 9 receptions for him, and he gets the interception. Lincoln out of timeouts. So all St. Mary's has to do is take a knee, and this one is over. Some of the Ram players congratulating themselves and the coaching staff as well, trying to keep everybody off the sideline, or on the sideline and not on the field yet. But what a come-from-behind win for St. Mary's, and a heartbreak again for Lincoln, so close to breaking the streak against St. Mary's, but it'll be a 3rd straight close loss by 3 in the semis last year, 6 earlier this year, and 1 here tonight. 32-31, Vaz takes a knee. He continues to be perfect against Lincoln. The Rams will march on 32-31 in come-from-behind fashion, and they advance to the section semifinals for the 5th time in 6 years. And if Merced beat Johansson, they'll have to take a trip south, but they're just happy to be playing. St. Mary's looked like they were going to go down, but in the end, the offense comes through and the defense makes the stops. Rams are victorious. Their season continues as they get their 10th win against just 2 losses. while Lincoln falls to 10-2. Their only 2 losses this season to St. Mary's, the one team they couldn't vanquish. And in the end, St. Mary's just a little bit better again. As good a high school football game as you will ever see. Round 2 of the playoffs, drama, big plays, mistakes, it was all there. And a crowd of 5,000, 6,000 or more saw it. We hope you enjoyed it. For our entire crew, Chance McCurry, Demetrius Snare, Maurice Patterson, Jeff Fryer, Director Michael January, I'm Eric Al. This is only the second round of the CIF Sac Joaquin section Les Schwab Tire Football Playoffs presented by Farmers Insurance. Again, since St. Mary's is on the road next week, assuming they're playing Merced, we won't have a game next week, but we could see you for the section final if the Rams pull the win at Merced. That'll be a very good one as well. We hope you enjoyed. Hard not to like this one. 32-31, our final. The Rams win to the semis again. It's almost a birthright. 5th time in 6 years for them. Good night. We'll talk to you maybe in 2 weeks.
This program was a presentation of Comcast's SJTV. San Joaquin Television. SJTV.
This program is available on Comcast Digital Cable On Demand. Go to Channel 1, then the Get Local menu to see this program free.